The thing I was saying yesterday to Richard Christie, you know, he was telling me a story. Gary passed it on to me. Richard goes on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, over the weekend. He found a place. It's all you can eat and drink, and you pay one price. All you can eat and drink? Yeah, all you can eat and drink, and you pay a price. And these places do well because for every person that drinks, you know, 5 glasses of wine or something, you get the person in there who doesn't drink. Or you get the person who has a small portion or something like that. So he's telling me, he found the place. He sat there all day. Richard, come on in here. This guy is such a schnorrer. Look at how big he's getting. He's getting very fat. And I could see why. He finds a place. He pays his... You got very fat, by the way. I noticed yesterday.
It's all muscle.
No, you gotten heavy.
You look like Uncle Fester with the bald head. Right?
No, give me a chance to speak to Richard for 1 second. I want to find out, A, why you're so heavy, and tell me about this place you found. How much does it cost to eat and drink there all day?
Well, it's not all you can eat. You order a brunch item.
I see.
Like a breakfast burrito or pancakes. And it's all you can drink. I think it's like $10.
$10? All you can drink? Yeah. All you can drink. Now, how long did you sit there?
6 hours.
6 hours you sat there. How much did you drink for $10?
Well, they had to, the other day, well, we've been going there for quite a few weekends now. We love this place. And the other day they had to run and make a champagne run and get more because we drank all of it. Yeah.
Now, when you say we, you mean you and your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, and you each pay $10. You get some kind of food. And can you imagine when this guy walks in, they break the bank? I mean, this goes on almost every weekend when he's in town.
Well, he's going to run them out of business.
Yeah, they must shudder when you walk through the door.
Well, they do have a limit. I think it's an hour limit, but at this certain place, we know the bartender, so...
Oh, it is an hour limit?
Yeah.
Ah, well, that says he somehow manages to sit there for 6 hours.
Yeah.
How much champagne did you consume in 6 hours?
I would get... Well, my girlfriend doesn't drink near as much as me. I drink what I call man-mosas.
Right.
They're in a beer mug. It's a mimosa in a beer mug.
Right.
And
what is in a mimosa? Champagne and orange juice?
Yeah.
And you drink? Why do you swill those in a beer mug? You can get them in quicker?
Because they don't... If it's in a champagne glass, they're coming back every 2 seconds because I can do that like a shot.
Yeah, there's probably about 4 or 5 in a beer mug.
Yeah.
So how much champagne would you say you consume? How many bottles?
I would guess 5 or 6 at least.
God. Oh, my God. So, I mean, you break the bank there, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's cheap champagne. They buy, like, Cooks.
We know.
So they're still not doing too bad.
We figured that. So what's going to be with you?
Why waste good champagne on you?
Are they going to ban you from the restaurant, or are they going to... Because you're what I call a schnorrer or a chazer. I'm not even sure what you are. I'm not sure what you are.
Well, I don't know what either of those means. So I don't know either.
What's the distinction?
Well, a chazer is somebody who would go into a place, pay $10, and just sit there all day and drink. But a schnorrer would be someone who grudges you until you become a chazer.
He's actually both, Howard. He's a schnozzer.
He grudges you till you become a schnorrer and a chazer.
Yeah, the idea that, you know, this poor bartender now, like, has to deal with him, he passed the limit. I think he's a schnorrer.
I call it being a good businessman, because I'm going in, drinking.
$10.
For $10.
It's unbelievable. I'm surprised they haven't banned you from the place.
They probably will one of these days.
You know.
But we're good customers.
You're a full-blown alcoholic now, right?
No, not at all.
What would be a full-blown alcoholic?
I'll tell you why I think he's an alcoholic. When you went on a train trip, you packed a suitcase full of champagne. And to me, if you're packing, alcohol on a train trip, you're thinking too much about how you're going to get your next drink.
I have some friends, and they came to visit, and the first thing they pulled out of their suitcase was a couple of bottles.
Well, it's fun.
I knew they had a problem.
Right.
That's not a problem. That's called being on vacation.
How many you drink every day of the week?
No.
Be honest.
I didn't drink last night, I swear.
Really?
I'll have a glass of wine. During the week, I'm really good.
Did you have a glass of wine last night?
No, not last night.
Right.
But what do you consider a full-blown alcoholic?
Well, a lot of people would... You guys will probably consider me an alcoholic. To me, an alcoholic is somebody that they can drink like a whole bottle of vodka, that it controls their life. They can't go a day without it. I can go days, and I could go weeks without it, but I don't choose to.
When you drink champagne, you're drinking bottles of champagne. I mean, you're going through, how many bottles did you say?
Well, just guessing 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
That's unreal.
In one sitting.
Yeah.
Richard, do you think the definition of an alcoholic is someone who has to be removed from an airplane in a wheelchair because they're too drunk to walk?
That was one time, Gary.
What, you don't care about your weight anymore? For a while you were caring.
Yeah, well, I always care, but it's so hard. You know, the restaurants in New York are awesome. There's such good
So are the
food.
gyms.
But, you know, you're folding your arms over your belly now, and, I mean...
A belly's hard to get rid of. I mean, especially when you get older. You know how it is.
I know it's hard, but, I mean, you've given up.
Dude, you're 32.
Yeah. When you get older. Right. How old are you?
35.
35.
When you get older.
I mean, I'm 55. Okay, I might have an issue. I don't know, man. You're still a young guy.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what I've been doing is I walk up my stairs in my apartment, so...
Wow.
I've been trying.
Yeah,
and running.
Walks all the way up to his apartment.
And I go
was
to the
sitting
gym.
behind him at the movies yesterday. His head was sweating.
Oh,
He
really?
just shaved his head, and he really does look like Curly from the Three Stooges now because he's that heavy.
Big round head.
I said, what is with your head sweating so badly?
Your head sweat.
I just got off the subway. It's hot.
No. Did you shower last night?
No, I didn't.
I said to him, maybe you ought to shower. You're kind of sweaty. Yeah, I might shower tonight.
I was tired.
And you went home and you didn't shower.
Mm.
God, I don't even understand. It's such a good feeling to take a shower.
Yeah.
When you're tired, too, isn't it great just to lay there under the water and just relax, towel off, and then
helps you sleep.
And then just go. Yes, it helps you sleep. Just go to bed afterwards.
Especially if your head's been sweating.
Yeah, I just didn't think about it. I forgot, I guess.
Yeah.
Richard, you want to know the definition of an alcoholic? Because I've been to a bunch of therapy meetings and group therapy, and this is one definition of it, and this is the one I believe. You could have a drink twice a year, but when you drink, it drastically changes your personality to where you have problems. It creates issues in your life. That's what alcohol does to you. And you clearly do that at least twice a week.
Yeah, but you guys...
that could be... I believe you're an alcoholic.
But you guys aren't around me. My personality doesn't really change.
You were on a wheelchair.
Your personality.
At Howard and Beth's engagement party, you were grotesque with your shirt off, yelling. Your personality drastically changes. And this is coming from an alcoholic. I mean... when I go to an NA meeting or an AA meeting, I have to get up and say, hi, I'm Artie Lang, I'm everything. So I know this. Howard, his personality, he becomes a jerk-off.
Well, around you guys, I'm a little different because we don't ever get to party that much. I get a little wild when I get the chance to hang out with you guys.
Richard, 5 bottles of champagne at some $10 brunch with your girlfriend.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You think that when you've had all of that booze, you're the same as you always are?
I'm a little happier, I guess.
Here's Mike. Mike says he knows what's going on here. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Richard is what you call a binge drinker. I'm a physician. I've been in medicine for about 30 years. And he's the kind of guy we get in middle school, actually, the 15-year-olds to go out and drink till they can't drink anymore and come in, and they wake up the next day, they say they feel fine. So alcoholism is not an everyday event. It's an event in time where you drink to the point that it's unhealthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good definition.
And that's the thing with him. Every time he drinks to get drunk. It's not just about having a drink.
No, trust me, I love the taste of champagne. Even if I didn't get drunk, I would just drink it because I love it.
But then you're also gay. Drunk, you're not. You don't drink anything that much that doesn't get you drunk.
Right.
Well, that helps. I like being drunk.
I want to know the place that's for $10 you can drink for 6 hours. That's
you want to go with this?
Yeah. What is the name of this place?
Lucky Mojo's in Long Island City.
Lucky Mojo's.
Yeah.
And you go over there and you love it.
Yeah, but they're not going to let anybody do this. You know?
Right.
Look at what he's doing. Do you live in Long Island City?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how he finds these places.
Yeah, we were
stagger home.
We used to have to go all the way to 9th Avenue for the all-you-can-drink brunches. I think we're banned from there, though.
Terry, you're on the air.
Hi, Howard. I love your show.
Thanks.
I was at a seminar on alcoholism a month ago, and they said there are several types of alcoholics. One is they drink every day, but you can drink every 3 months. But if you're binge drinking when you're drinking, you're an alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be the definition of Richard.
And I'll give you an example. Richard got so drunk at a wine tasting that he peed all over the flowers in front of people? Yeah. Like, you just whipped out your penis and started peeing in front of them, right? So.
And that's how you normally are.
No, not normally. I was with Sal. We were having a good time out in Sonoma.
God help us.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, his personality does drastically change.
Richard, let me tell you something. I agree with this woman, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. When I was, I think, 20 years old, I got so drunk, and my buddies drank the same amount as me, but they're not alcoholics. I got so drunk, we were in a bar that had one of those basketball games where you shoot and it comes down. Yeah. I fell asleep inside the game. I passed out. So the bouncers had to say, no one can play anymore because it's out of order.
Wow.
They played a trick on me. They locked up, closed the bar. I woke up at 5 a.m. alone in the bar, and I had to break out. So that's an alcoholic. You understand? Like, my behavior changed. Pissing in plants, taking your shirt off at Howard and Beth's engagement party, being red and yelling. You're an alcoholic. I'm telling you right now.
And I'm not really denying that. I mean, a lot of...
Well, you just did.
Well, to me, I mean, I can still control myself. I walked out of that brunch on Sunday, and I was fine.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm saying you might not be, but who knows?
But Howard, even you say on the weekends now, you drink a lot, too.
Oh, please.
We between the two of us, the most, we drink 1 bottle of wine, which is 2 glasses.
And he's not getting naked running down the...
And I do definitely get buzzed and I feel good, but I don't think I do anything weird that I wouldn't do normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might be a little more talkative.
Yeah, or less.
Look, Robin gets drunk and yells shit at Tiger Woods at golf matches.
Hey, what's up, Will, you bitch?
Yeah, remember this?
All right, I'm going to leave you a message, and this is it. I'm going to take a piss right on the phone right here, because dude, I'm wasted. You little bastard, you. You want to hear me get all worked up? You love it, you little... All right, here we go. I'm taking a piss right now. I just pissed on my shirt. All right, listen to this little... Did you hear that? I took a leak. Dude, I'm wasted. I'm taking a leak right in Manhattan on 42nd Street. Oh, you love it.
Wow.
You just want to hear me take a leak. You love this stuff. You turned on my hot, hairless body. You just wish you could... I just took a leak. Dude, I'm wasted. I'm taking a leak right in Manhattan on 42nd Street. Oh, you love it. You just want to hear me take a leak. You love this stuff.
He's right. His personality doesn't change.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm that annoying all the time.
That's when you still liked Will, by the way. You used to call him.
I'm fine with Will. I was smacking his ass the other day.
I thought that you guys were fighting. And
that's the reason you weren't walking in the hall and talking.
No, we're fine.
Was it Jason that gets
Well, Jason freaked out on me on the wrap-up show, but me and Will are fine.
You're okay now?
Yeah, yeah. It was a little weird there for a little bit. But, by the way, that night that I left that message, that was a fun night. I went on a booze cruise, and me and my buddy, we drank so much we were throwing the deck chairs off of the booze cruise.
That's what I mean.
That's an alcoholic.
You're acting bizarre.
Yeah,
but on a booze cruise, that's why they call it a booze cruise. You get boozed up.
Do you still feel comfortable peeing for Will? Like, do you like to call him still? And,
now that he's married.
Comment on his ass.
Yeah.
I've matured a little.
Do you think Will really loved hearing you pee?
I think he came in and Monday morning and said he loved it. Yeah.
He loves it. He loves to hear what you're doing.
Tell your wife I'm jealous of that lying with you. You should be lying with me while I piss on my phone.
Don't you think that drunken little rap there reveals that you have gay tendencies? I mean, you're calling a man in your drunken state and saying, oh, my God, my penis is out, I'm peeing, and you love it, hairless body. Don't you think that's a very, like, in my most drunk state, I don't think I ever said to a guy, you love my hairless body.
Would that be a dangerous personality change?
Yeah, I mean, don't you think you're a little bit gay?
You never, like, walked up and smacked a guy in the ass when you're drunk or hugged him or anything?
I've hugged a guy.
Dry humped them.
I've hugged a guy and said, hey, you're my bro or something, but I've never, like, said, you love my hairless body. That just doesn't occur to me.
You don't try to come on to them?
No.
I was just trying to be goofy and funny.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
a
work.
funny way for it to go.
Goofy, yes. Funny, I don't know.
I said I was trying. I didn't say I succeeded.
It's hard when you're drunk.
Well, Howard, what do you think about me with the Queer Eye guys? Do you think that means I have gay tendencies? Or is it different because he took the time to call a man?
Yeah, I don't know. That was for the camera. I know you were trying hard on that. I was like...
Well, I was drunk off my ass.
Yeah. All right, Richard. Thank you. Richard Christie, the great Richard Christie.
Hey, Howard, you know something I was thinking about the other day, too?
Bye, Richard.
Go ahead, bud.
You know, Brian Phelan's been working here for like 12 years now, and not once, he's never come in on the show and gotten naked.
Right.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Do you think he wants to be naked on the show?
I think it'd be hilarious if Brian Phelan got naked on the show.
Have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, I mentioned it to him.
And what did he say?
He seemed a little like he didn't want to do it, but he might do it.
Yeah.
Well, you're a great writer.
Brian, you want to come and be naked on the show?
Richard has an idea for you.
He'd love it. He'd love it.
When did you write that idea?
Took me a while. I've been working on it for a couple of years.
But wouldn't it be funny if me, Howard, Robin, and Gary got naked? I mean,
if anyone's naked, it's funny.
I've been doing the show for how long? I've never gotten naked.
Well, we show you tits.
Brian, do you want to be naked on the show? Were you interested in that?
Nah, this guy's up.
Yeah.
I think he wants to Brian.
What was your first inkling?
The night of the film festival, he got so drunk, and he just looks at me, he's like, I'm going to F you tonight, and chased me all around Manhattan. He's out of his mind.
Richard, what's that about?
I call Brian the cuddler. He's like the cuddliest guy around here.
Thank you.
And he's just so cute. Like, he's just big and cute like a big bear, you know?
Right.
He's at least bi.
A bear.
Yeah, and you want to film?
I would never actually go as far as, but it's fun to hug him and
cuddle,
stuff.
yeah.
He does hug me a lot.
Yeah, but a bear, that's the exact term.
Right, and he's not even drunk yet.
That's the exact term a gay guy uses.
Yeah.
A bear.
Right.
They say a bear.
You should try it, Howard. Just hug him. It feels
We've
good.
hugged.
Yeah, I mean, in New Orleans we hugged.
Yeah, we've hugged.
Yeah, I've hugged them.
But did you like...
didn't want to repeat that.
No, I didn't rub his tits like you just did.
You haven't said, boy, I need to hug him again.
Yeah. All right, Richard, we're up to some strange things. I thought we'd check in with you.
Howard, thanks, Howard.
All right, thanks, Brian. Brian,
Yep.
keep your clothes on. All
Thanks.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
All right. What is it, Gary?
I was going to say, did you see the email Richard sent out the other day about Brian with the naked picture?
No, I didn't get that.
Maybe he just sent it to me, but it just gets creepier every day. Richard, I don't know where he's looking at this stuff, but he found it's like a calendar for gay guys who are into obese men.
Right.
So he sent me the whole
Why didn't I get that?
He sent the whole calendar, and he goes,
why didn't I get an offer?
I think you deleted it.
Doesn't March look exactly like Brian Phelan? It was
Mr. March.
Butt naked.
He loves me.
It was so weird. It was creepy. I was looking at a fat naked guy that I didn't ask for.
What it was is I saw the funniest show this weekend on MTV. They have a show called True Life, and it was this guy that's 500 pounds, but he's gay. But all these really good-looking buff gay guys fly into Memphis to see him because they love that there's a 500-pound gay guy. They call them like chubby chasers or something.
Yeah.
And so the gay guy made a calendar of himself, the 500-pound guy, like in various poses, totally nude. And I guess he's doing real good selling these calendars.
Wow.
There he is. There I am, yeah.
He does look a little like Brian.
A little bit.
Oh, my God.
How do you find his ass to...
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Well, very nice, boys. What
Lovely.
can I tell you? All right.
He's strange.
Yeah. Brian,
Yes,
thank
he
you.
is.
And Richard, how much you weigh now?
215.
Wow. Brian, what are you weighing? You're getting big, too.
I probably weigh about 250-something.
250?
Yeah.
I think you might be a little higher than that.
Maybe 260.
Wow, your boys are getting big. I don't know. Everyone around here is letting themselves get big.
It's hard with these hours and stuff. I don't know how you do it, Howard.
I control myself. I try not to eat so much all day.
It's summertime now, too. Drinking and...
You know, I'm down to about 230.
Are you? Wow.
Yeah, so I'm getting close to Richard. But what Richard's saying, you know what's the hardest part about it is this schedule with the road. And I'm not doing a WAD thing, but on the road, you eat like, so, you know, you put it on. But lately I've actually been addicted to the gym and hoops. And I've dropped like almost 65 pounds.
Wow, that's terrific.
Wow, very quietly.
Yeah, so,
Jason's over 300 pounds.
Oh, is he over 300?
Over 300 pounds?
I think so. I know he's pushing 300.
Wow.
You know, everyone here's a big fat ass.
Except you and Fred and Will.
And Artie.
Jason, where are you at now?
I'm not over 300 pounds. I'm not at any good weight, but it's not over 300.
No? Are you 300?
I'll get on the scale.
Go ahead. Are you 300? I bet you 300.
Take everything out of your pockets. There you go.
Might as well take your shoes off. Got to be at least 285, 290.
Take your stomach off.
290.
289.
Yep.
289.
290. All right, you're not at 300 yet.
Where did you get the information that he was 300?
Somebody told me they thought he was hit the 300.
Well, Robin, he's not that far off. I mean,
Rob, we're talking 10
no,
pounds.
I just thought it was somebody who knew.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight to carry around.
He's a bacon, egg, and cheese away from 300.
Yeah, lunch, he'll be 300.
All right, Stephen, you're on the air. Hi, what's happening?
Yeah, regarding Richard, and almost like he's denying he's an alcoholic stuff. I feel like I'm in the same boat as him. I drink probably as much as him. I like to pack it on trips. And the only difference between me and another alcoholic is I haven't gone to meetings or I haven't been seeking therapy. I mean, what you just said about what makes an alcoholic made me feel guilty as hell, and I don't know how he doesn't accept that. So, I mean, you ought to send him to a lab and get his liver enzymes checked and see how bad. Maybe that'll.
Yeah, he's drinking a little too much. Yeah. I mean, if you're drinking more than 2 glasses a night.
Yeah, Howard?
Is a problem.
Yeah, because I think they consider that like it doesn't matter when you drink. It's when you sit down and drink. Do you usually have more than 5 drinks?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Then you're an alcoholic.
Yeah. No, he is.
There's so many definitions he's hitting.
Right.
You're hitting a lot of definitions. Dave, go ahead. His personality's changing. He's drinking more than 2 drinks.
Yeah.
He's there.
I can't argue.
Dave.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, a few years ago, I went to a psychiatrist after I lost my job in the insurance industry. I was making about $100,000 as a claims manager, and so I'm sitting across from the psychiatrist, and he says to me, you know, there's all sorts of diagnoses as an alcoholic. You got the classic alcoholic who sits in the alleyway drinking wine every day. He goes, but you're what you call a social alcoholic. He goes, because you can go 7-10 days without a drink, but if you're put in a social situation, it's a 100-yard dash to Drunkville.
He's
pretty much.
He's a drunk. He's an alcoholic.
That actually sounds a lot like me. I love just to be around people and have a good time, and that usually always involves drinking.
Yeah, I'm worried about you. You got to pull yourself together.
We're worried about everybody who works here. What is going on?
I'm worried about you're sitting across from somebody that puts coffee in her butthole, and you're worried about me.
Yeah, but it's working for her. It's
coffee in my butthole doesn't do what you do when you drink 50 gallons of champagne.
But I'm not putting it up my butthole.
Yeah, but you're
going to be better off.
You're going to put Brian up your butthole, it sounds like.
All right, thank you, Richard.
Big bear.
Hey, real quick, Howard, since we're talking about my addictions, can we talk about something with Sal that's really funny?
Sure, what do you got?
You remember, who was that baseball player that boxed Danny Bonaducci?
Canseco.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco.
He came in with those fake cigarettes, those mechanical cigarettes.
Yeah.
Sal has gone crazy with those things.
Yeah, I know. I heard and I heard they're banning them or something.
Well, that's what everybody's saying. And people will come in, somebody came into Sal the other day in our office, and they go, you know, Sal, they're banning those everywhere, and they're supposed to be supposedly dangerous. And Sal takes a puff off his cigarette. He goes, I'll have to look into that. Meanwhile, he's been smoking the thing. And
you know what? Listen to me. You worry about you with the champagne and all the alcohol. Limit yourself to 2 glasses.
Oh, forget it, Howard.
That's
Robin.
No fun.
That's ridiculous.
This is what's going to prove to him he's an alcoholic. You're not allowed to have more than 2 drinks a day. On a given day. And you can't wait.
On Saturday, he can save them all up. And
that's what I was going to say. If I don't drink during the week.
No more than 2 drinks a day.
Well, how big are the glasses?
Not in a beer mug either. I'm talking about...
Does a bottle be considered a drink?
He'll get one of those water jugs.
I'll get a keg.
Thank you. Really. See if you can limit yourself to that.
Listen to Howard, man. He helped me. I'm like a poster boy for this. I'm 3 months clean. I've never felt better. It's a better life, dude. You want to walk around slurring your words and all this other...
Yes, he does.
I mean, you know, it really is a better life.
Right.
You know, just work on it.
Yeah.
He's seen sober, and it's boring.
Yeah, well, it ain't boring.
All right, Richard, thank you.
Thank you, Howard. I will heed your advice, too, I promise.
Do I need to take a break here?
We do.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back right after these. Hey, you know, let me see. We'll play a little homeless game here.
Are we supposed to be doing this every day?
I am. That's why I'm trying to get to it. Jim, you're on the air, and Joan Rivers is going to stop by. I want to say hi to Joan. Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Howard. How about you?
Good. All right. You ready to play?
Yeah.
I got $500 from mangroomer.com, the makers of the essential do-it-yourself electric back hair shaver. Just launched their new private body shaver for the groin and underarms. Mangroomer.com. Maintain yourself. That's their slogan. Maintain yourself.
Well, you could use that. You're always liking to keep that area pristine.
Yeah, I've been lazy about it lately.
Maybe you need a special appliance.
I'm like an ape. I actually have been trying to shave down for a couple of days now. I never have the time. I'm busy.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm on the road again. Here I am. Haven't taken a shave.
Here I am.
I needed to groom that bush. It's nice. It's longer than my penis now. Those hairs are actually exceeding the length of my penis.
Oh, that's not...
Really?
Yeah. Kind of bums
Do
me
you
out.
really have a little button penis, or is it just...
I got a little button penis.
I think he's a grower, though.
I'm a grower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can grow.
We know he's a grower. We've heard the measurement, but I'm wondering, you know, what he shows.
Changes throughout the day, but pretty much, you know, when I run in the bathroom here during the show, it's always disappointing. I unfurl my pants and the hairs, they're longer than the actual shaft.
Well, how do you pee? Do you have to sit down?
No. What I do is I never touch my penis with my hands.
Yeah. So you have something that pokes out.
Yeah, I do. I have a little something. And then I tuck my underwear underneath my penis. So that holds my penis while I pee, and therefore I don't have to get my hands dirty with disgusting penis touching.
Yeah, but it has to be more than what you're telling me, because otherwise you dribble down your pants.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
At K-Rock, I would always touch my cock and just walk out because my cock was the cleanest thing in that bathroom.
I'm neither a grower or a shower, according to my...
Can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah, according to my definition. All right, so here we go. We got Jim on the phone. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going to play a little homeless game. What do we usually do, 3 out of 5?
Yes.
All right, 3 out of 5. I give you the $500. I'll give you a practice one, okay?
Okay.
We've been using this guy all week. The only reason I'm playing this is I want to reclaim jaywalking from Jay. We've been doing this for 100 years.
How many days are there in July?
And then this is what the guy said.
In July, 28.
28?
28.
Maybe he thought he said February.
All right, so you with it?
I am.
All right, here we go. Here's your first one.
What language is spoken in France?
Now, you would think I can't imagine there's a human being on the planet that wouldn't know this.
I think he's going to say 28.
I don't know where this guy is from.
He sounds like he's Indian.
He might say Belgian or something, but no, French is, you know what I mean?
I think he's going to know this.
I gotta figure he has to know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to know it, Howard.
All right.
Please.
That's your answer?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
French.
Ah!
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, you don't know that. You can't, I don't even see how you can function. All right, so you're on the scoreboard. You got one right. See, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, Jim, here we go.
Who wrote Hamlet?
Now, this he may not know, being from another culture.
They'll say John Grisham.
I think he'll know Shakespeare.
You think so?
I do. I mean, but then again, don't go by me.
Howard, I'm going to have to disagree with you, King.
All right.
I don't think you'll know it.
All right, let's find out. Who wrote Hamlet?
Who wrote Hamlet? Shakespeare?
Oh, look at this. Man's a genius.
I think that most people, this is the guy we've been playing with all week. He got a lot wrong, but I just think most people know Shakespeare. Somehow that comes across your path.
I can show you some people who don't know Shakespeare.
I wanted William Shakespeare, but we'll take it.
I can't believe he knew that.
You should have gone with me.
I know, always.
All right, here we go.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
Every kid learns that there are 26 letters in the alphabet.
You don't know which alphabet he's thinking of.
That's right. He sounds like he's a little bit foreign, so he might not get this right.
Since he's got an accent, I'm going to say he doesn't know it.
He doesn't know it. All right, let's find out.
22.
22.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good logic, man. That's the way to play this game. Good logic.
All you need now is one more out of 2. And you get the $500 from mangroomer.com.
How many world wars have there been?
Well, most people, this guy sounds a little bit older to me. He's got to know World War I and World War II.
I'm going to take a chance, Howard, that he does not know that.
Wow.
There's a chance.
All right, let's find out if you're right, and let's see if you now have $500. I say he's got to know it.
Well, there is
I think so.
There is a technicality if you're a sports fan. Some people call the Thriller in Manila World War III.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Here's another theory. He might interpret the question, how many wars have there been in the world?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Well, nobody's got a number on that.
Yeah, but, you know, an average person would know what we're talking about.
All right, what is your answer again? You say he will not know that there are 2 world wars.
He will not know it.
Okay, here we go.
3.
Oh, you won. It's that simple. You did it real quick. You won $500 from mangroomer.com. The makers of the essential do-it-yourself electric back hair shaver just launched their new private body shaver for the groin and underarms. Mangroomer.com. Maintain yourself.
Howard, thanks a lot, man. Love you guys.
All right, brother. I'm going to put you back on hold here, all right?
Okay.
So you can collect your prize. And we go hit that little button. You should be okay.
Howard, can we hear the other one?
Sure.
What continent is the USA part of?
You don't know that.
No.
I'd say no.
Which continent? North. North America?
Wow.
He got it.
How does he know that?
I don't know. I don't know how he knows anything.
If he didn't know there were 2 world wars, how the hell do you know that? Knowledge is random.
What sport does Serena Williams play?
Oh, forget it. I don't think he's a tennis fan.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll bet $1,000 to anyone who thinks he'll get this.
I don't think you'll get it.
Tennis?
Oh, my God! The shame. Put us all to shame.
Someone should have taken it.
Oh.
How do you spell definitely?
No way.
Won't get it.
Is this Bob Lee you were asking?
He's going to use the 28 letters of the alphabet.
22.
Well, here we go. I'll give you the answer right now. If he gets this, there's no way.
D-E-F-A-I, D-E-F-A-I,
We're done.
E-T-L-Y.
He had to get something wrong.
What branch of the armed forces uses the initials USMC?
Oh, stop.
I say he won't know this.
No, he doesn't know this.
I mean, he should know it. It's not that hard.
Wait a minute. It's the United States Marine Corps, correct?
He's not going to know it. He'd have no reason to know that.
I think he will know it.
He was a Marine.
Unless he lived in an invading country or something.
He was a Marine.
Well, they're currently fighting World War III, so maybe he does know.
That's true.
Gomer Pyle came to my town.
USMC? United States Military Cabinet.
What?
Yeah.
What did he call it?
Cabinet C.
United States Military Cabinet.
Wow.
United States Moronic Cabby.
USMC? United States Military Cabinet.
What's that last one?
I don't know.
I think he's saying cab receipt.
Cab receipt?
I think
United States Military Cameron Diaz.
Abracadabra seat.
I want to reach out and grab it.
I don't know what he said.
On which date is Independence Day celebrated?
Now, he's got to know this.
4th of July?
Yes.
He knew it. You know, I didn't think he'd know that.
No, he had to know that.
What did the letters FDA stand for?
No way. If he doesn't know USMC. No. Food and Drug Administration's a tough one.
Some Americans.
But I don't know. Like, that's in the news
Federal
all the time.
Dummies Association?
FDA, Federal Department of Agriculture or something like that.
Yeah, enough.
Who is the mayor of New York City?
You should know that. This was in New York City.
Mayor Juberg.
Everybody knows Bloomberg.
Bloomberg.
See? The guys who live in the city know.
Yeah.
Because they go to a lot of those shelters.
They have direct contact with
them.
them.
They have a lot of the services that are provided by Mayor Bloomberg.
It's probably on his hack license.
And his check.
What is
50% of 500?
No, we started with that one.
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
Did we?
Yeah, he got one.
Howard, I'm just reading that Ed McMahon has died.
Wow.
Did he die broke officially, or did he get any more cash?
Well, he had a lot of financial problems at the end of his life.
Hi-oh.
He was, I guess, hospitalized for pneumonia and a lot of other medical issues. 86 years old.
Yeah, you know, it's unbelievable. Ed McMahon had the most incredibly charmed life up until the end. He had some problems, but here was a guy who was a sort of like a carnival barker type, you know? I mean, he wanted to be an announcer. And he hooked
Wasn't he a radio guy?
Yeah, I think he was eventually, but he ended up being with Johnny Carson. And
he was a radio guy in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of stuff there, yeah.
He started with Johnny on that game show.
Right.
Yeah, I think King of Cable's on Fox News giving a tribute right now.
Poor Janks is in the joint, otherwise he'd be hard at work.
Yep. Joan Rivers is probably thrilled, I would guess.
You don't think she liked Ed McMahon either?
I don't think so.
I don't think she had a problem with Ed. You know what you should have just said there, Robin, to confuse people? The Tonight Show announcer is dead.
Anyway, so Joan Rivers, not Joan Rivers, Ed McMahon was a lucky guy in the sense that he became Johnny Carson's right-hand guy, his sidekick. And Ed knew how to play it. He was really actually pretty good with Johnny. He would do those bits.
The Karnak bit was
and he would do them.
A big deal.
He'd laugh at some of Johnny's stuff. He kind of knew when to lay back. He knew when to come in. He knew how to work with Johnny.
Yeah. And he did those live commercials.
Yeah, he was terrific. But I mean, a simple, you know, it looks simple, actually, when you think about it. But, you know, we got to give the guy some credit. We got to give him some credit because, you see, like Stuttering John went off to be the announcer on the Tonight Show, and he said, I'm going to be like Ed McMahon.
Right.
No, you're not.
It's not that easy.
And Jay Leno never responded to John in the same way that Ed and Johnny got along.
Yeah, what other announcer has ever done this?
And you even see with Conan now, Andy Richter used to sit next to Conan. They brought him back, and they don't have him sitting next to Conan anymore. That chemistry is very hard to get.
Ed was always on the couch.
Ed didn't mind being second fiddle, and he knew how to play it. And what was amazing about the guy is that he generated $80 million. He was worth $80 million at one point. I remember interviewing him.
Well, he parlayed it into, you know, Dick Clark was a good friend of his, and Dick Clark was always giving him work. He gave him, you know, hosting of those video shows where you play the outtakes.
He co-owned the bloopers, I believe, with Dick Clark.
Wow.
He had part
how
ownership
did he
in it.
run out of money?
And Ed was a hero in the United States military, by the way, which was brought up a couple of times on our show when we had him on.
Yeah, and he hosted Star Search.
Fascinating life.
So the guy was worth $80 million, and what was even equally fascinating was the fact that he lost it all. I mean, when I read in the paper that this guy couldn't even afford his house anymore, and I think the way he lost it was he married a lot of people.
Well, he had a ton of wives,
a ton of wives. And then I guess he made some bad investments or something. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Yeah,
but
the end of his life was bad investments. I don't remember what he invested in, but it didn't work out for him.
I mean, at one point, he was turning to Donald Trump to basically buy his house and bail him out.
But it was ongoing. Every couple of months, the house was in trouble again. He was in fear of losing it.
So I wonder if he left any money behind. Didn't he have a young wife when he died?
He had a wife, and, you know, I think he had a young kid.
Yeah.
Just the
kid
one?
must be a teenager. No, well, his other kids are adults.
Right.
But
I think he had one kid that died.
Oh, yeah.
He did?
I think so. I don't know.
I know Johnny did. Right.
Yeah, I think Ed, too, but I'm not sure. I think he outlived one of his kids.
You know what else was great about Ed McMahon on that show? Not only just interacting with Carson in the beginning of the show, but when guests like Don Rickles would come on, Rickles would be sitting in between McMahon and Carson. And when Rickles would with McMahon, Ed was just as great with him. Like, he knew, he laughed, and he knew how to set him up, and he was great with the guests, too. I mean, he was really good at what he did.
But, you know, listen, I was no big fan of Johnny's. And quite frankly, I would consider Ed McMahon the luckiest man in show business. But nevertheless, give him his due. The guy made $80 million sitting there, basically. And
well, that was what his worth was at a certain point in his life. He must have made a lot more than that.
To accumulate $80 million, you know, you can imagine.
That means he made 160.
At least.
Right.
Must have been a nightmare for some woman out there when you marry an old rich guy and then it turns out he went through all his money. That couldn't have been fun. I mean, the fun of marrying.
I married Ed McMahon, the broke one.
Yeah, you don't do that. But, Ed, you are a colorful character, and I always thank you for doing the show, and rest in peace.
You will be missed.
You will be missed. And I'll give it to... I'm going to do my tribute now.
Seemed like a nice, gentle guy.
Hey-oh!
Hi-oh!
There he goes. There goes Ed, and I know John aspired to be Ed McMahon.
Well, you know what? I'm just thinking Johnny and Ed are reunited.
And they are. And I bet you Johnny's running from him right now. Somewhere. 8:29. Hey, is Joan Rivers here yet? I don't want to keep her waiting if she is.
Because we certainly want to hear her take on it.
Yeah, what a timely guest for that, yeah.
Not yet, Howard.
Because if you remember, Joan Rivers used to be on The Tonight Show a lot. You know, this is a fact probably a lot of people didn't know. She had to audition 8 times before they let her on The Tonight Show. And then she got on. And she, over the years, was such a good guest. And then at one point became the permanent guest host.
Yeah. That,
in fact, her ratings would be higher than the nights that Johnny was on. So they offered her permanent guest host slot.
Like she beat out Brenner. Like David Brenner was doing.
She beat out everyone, and she became the permanent. And it looked like if she hung in there long enough that she would eventually take over The Tonight Show. And then she made that move where she took a talk show from Fox because her ratings were so high. And that didn't work out too well. I guess on her own show, people liked her on The Tonight Show better than they did on her own show.
Yeah, there was something, and she wasn't on every night.
Yeah. By the way, Ed's wife was 54 years old.
Wow.
So she was banging Ed.
You mean she doesn't have to die because...
No, she's not going to be thrown in the box with him.
It's like Rodney. Remember Rodney came in there for the last time? It was so sad, and he was about 82, and his wife...
I was playing a tape yesterday of the Letterman protest, outside the Letterman studio. About 50 people, actually. They found 50 people to sit there and protest Letterman.
So stupid.
I told Sal and Richard to go down there and get tape, and I played it yesterday. And I said, don't get into any arguments with people. Here's a list of questions you can ask, and, just... But, of course, Sal got into an argument anyway. Here's Sal arguing with the protesters outside the Letterman studios.
Do you want him to be fired?
I think something further should come of this.
What about all the families that are employed by David Letterman, though?
He should have thought of that. It's not a joke.
How about the employees of CBS's daughters had nothing to do with this? You're saying they should be on the street over one joke?
Let Letterman apologize to them, too.
Well, he apologized already. It's just that you people here have nothing better to do with your life, so you're out here yapping away trying to make a name for yourself because you didn't get attention growing up as a child yourself. There's a psychological issue here. It has nothing to do with Letterman.
You're most biased.
With Letterman.
You're most biased.
It's the most ridiculous asinine thing in the world that you people are here wasting your time. I'm not full of shit. You're full of shit.
Nope.
I'm not full of shit.
Because you are dishonest.
So you're saying you're willing to say that, hey, fire these people, put their kids on the street, and over one joke, but you're defending one girl whose daughter had a kid with unprotected, was a lousy mother.
You never made a mistake? Have you had fun?
Yeah.
Have you had
okay, yeah. I've made a mistake, yes, sir. I know I've been forgiven. Are you willing to forgive? You're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. You guys are willing to fire employees so their children are starving and unemployed.
If they fire Letterman, he's not going to stop. So stop your baloney. He was so full of garbage. Put another guy on.
So you're willing to throw hundreds of kids on the street over one joke about a lady's daughter?
Yeah.
How am I wrong? How?
You know what? And what about Cousin Brucey? I don't listen to Cousin Brucey.
No one does. Hey, listen. I love Cousin Brucey. I love my Cousin Brucey. hey, listen. So I say to Sal and Richard, go down there and act like regular reporters. I go, can you do that? Can you contain yourselves and, just go down. Stick to the script and just ask questions. I don't need you guys mixing it up with anybody. They go, absolutely. And then they get mad at me whenever I ask them to do something, and they say, well, how come you can't trust us? I go, I can't trust you because you always get it wrong. How can I trust you? I tell you to go down there and not argue with the people. It's funny as hell. They're supposed to be reporters, and they're down there yelling at the people they're reporting on. They're getting into fights with them. Yeah.
The other big thing is, and we gave a list of questions. The other big thing they did was, they made out.
Yeah, I heard about this. Did you hear about this?
TV shows.
Yeah. No. There was You know the Keith Olbermann show? It's on. Is it on MSNBC?
Yes, it is. 8 o'clock.
Okay. So when Richard and Sal were down at the Letterman protest, basically supposedly acting like reporters. They're sort of
impersonating
the Keith Olbermann show was there. So Sal and Richard saw the camera going. They were interviewing people. They start making out with each other on camera. And from what I'm hearing, tongues were involved.
So they were full out kissing each other.
Full out Mac Daddying. I mean, they were going nuts on each other. And
probably enjoying it.
I mean, I want to know what's up. I mean, come on. That can't be good.
Could you tongue kiss a guy for any sort of comedy? I mean, I want to feed my future family, but
listen, I'm not going to be homophobic about. I told you, Fred looks good to me. I'm being honest. You want to call that gay? Call it gay.
It happens. But everybody's going to have a guy.
Do you dream of kissing him?
Ever since he started boxing and really getting into a heavy workout schedule, what can I say? One thing leads to another.
They say in the old days when guys used to fight, it's like the guy who would win the fight would get the other guy.
That's right.
that was a boxing.
Supposedly.
Bring it on.
He thinks I'm making it. Am I right, Artie?
Dominant. It's like about dominance over a man in every way. Absolutely.
But Fred aside, really, I couldn't kiss a guy on the lips, let alone with a tongue.
No way.
Hey, Sal or Richard, did you have tongue kissing? Sal, was there tongue kissing involved? Because everyone's saying it was.
They're going to deny.
Be honest.
They're going to deny.
It came close.
Yeah.
There was no tongue.
Really?
But I could feel the heat coming off of Richard's mouth onto my mouth.
Well, that was disease.
Yeah.
So you were on the Keith Olbermann show making out. I got to see a clip of that.
It's got to be funny, but dude, you're better man than me. That's a lot.
It's comic relief to these insane lunatics.
I know, but I mean, kissing a guy, that's.
Did you get hard at all?
No, but Howard, there were 2 cops behind us. The looks on their face, it was like their children were being killed in front of them. And this one cop goes, all of a sudden you hear, Richard, Sal, this is Richard. And then I go to the cop, I go, I'm sorry, I don't want to break your balls, we love you. He goes, I love you guys too, but my lieutenant's looking at this, and I'm not doing anything about it.
Here's,
my goddamn lieutenant.
Here's the audio from Keith Olbermann, I guess. What was it? Keith Olbermann actually was showing this and then realized it was you two guys, right? Okay.
He's a big fan, I think.
Here in New York, highlights from yesterday's anti-Letterman Sarah Palin protest from in front of the Ed Sullivan Theater. An angry mob, an angry sloping of literally tens of protesters took to the streets a day ago, and their message was clear. David Letterman must be stopped at all costs. But as this video shot by a reporter from New York Magazine also demonstrates, there was at least a little love at the anti-Dave rally. There it is. Indeed, some protesters in the background even found time to get past their differences and pretend to suck face. Congratulations, gentlemen, and a baba booey to you both, Richard and Sal.
There you go. Good for you. Your antics made it on TV.
Yeah, it's funny, though, because we were calling ourselves journalists. And the first question we get is, where are your credentials? Up my ass. So Richard takes out his serious ID to get into the building. And they go, oh, that'll do.
Who asked you for credentials? One of the protesters?
All of them. Yeah.
They know now.
Those wacky old lesbian yentas asked for it immediately. They were so angry. I mean, these people really need to... I'm sorry, Howard, that I went off the cuff a little bit. Yeah. But, I mean, to see these people, it's just like...
Do you see why now when you always say to me, gee, I can't believe you don't trust us. You could see why. I said to you, don't go down there, don't get angry, just ask the questions. And you see how you don't listen?
Yeah, well, that was at the end after I did listen. I got everything in that you wanted.
listened for a while.
You actually didn't get everything in, which is, there was a huge part that we wanted them to ask that was written out for them that you guys never got to.
The Leno quotes?
Well, McCain had made fun of Palin's daughter, and Leno, and Conan O'Brien.
No,
we had dates.
We did. The answers weren't interesting. We know how to edit this stuff.
Wow.
Right, Richard?
Interesting.
Did you really? Come on, be honest. Because Jason...
I swear to God, we have it all on
Jason
tape.
said he asked you about it.
We asked all the questions, but their answers were just kind of boring, so we cut it out.
Yeah. We wanted
and then we made out.
Then we made out.
Mr. Something, Richard's honest, more honest than Sal.
Thanks.
Was some tongue in there?
I stuck my tongue out, but Sal turned his face and I licked his cheek. Oh. We have a move where we'll start to move towards each other and then turn our faces.
But I did do the nipple suck. I sucked Richard's nip.
No, I got to see that. I got to see what you two are up to.
By the way, you were mentioning that you were thinking about sending Benji down there.
Yeah.
Like, every woman down there looked like Benji. He would have fit right in. Like, they wouldn't even notice.
Here it is. I can see it now.
There's Benji.
Oh, that's some woman yelling.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, wait, let's see if I can get the audio. Oh, there you are. Look at those two. Right behind that woman's head, you can see.
And you can see the policeman walk over towards us to tell us to stop.
It's illegal for two guys to kiss on the street. Look,
it shouldn't be, but it is.
He is a verbal pedophile. Wake up. Mom, and take care of your kids.
Here comes the cop. The cop's behind.
So there it didn't look like you thought, because when Lehman Brothers went out of business, you guys
really went at it.
Pretended, but you didn't lip lock. So this time you lip lock.
You know what I think happened? Sal's ready to kiss you, but you stick your whole tongue right out. Like, why don't you hold off? Let him start kissing
you.
And then slip him the tongue.
And then slip him the tongue.
It's like when a girl's kissing your belly button, you jab your cock in her mouth. You got to go
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm thinking of the visual. When you see a guy sticking his tongue out, it looks funny. You know, like I'm really wanting it.
Yeah, well,
Richard's always thinking of comedy.
I just know that Sal really would probably make out with you, but you got to like keep your tongue in your mouth a little.
I don't know.
You know, Howard, I think you're 100% right on everything, but this time I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to make out with
It's weird, too. Like,
you see, the tongue comes around.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
Tell me again, why did you shave your head? You got a part in a movie?
Yeah.
But you didn't tell me that the other day when I asked you why you shaved your head.
Well, you were walking away. I didn't want to bother you too much.
Okay.
It was after the show.
What kind of movie could this be?
It's Maria Menounos is producing it.
Oh,
it's called Serial Buddies, yeah. Yeah, I hung out with her the other day. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's going on with your new album? That,
I thought you were supposed to be making music.
Yeah, I am. In a couple of weeks we start recording, so.
Sal going to be involved in that, or are you keeping?
No, Sal's got his G-Man thing.
Yeah.
So. I do preview his music, though.
Yeah, he's more into rap and you're more into metal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sal's not going to be your little, girlfriend and sit at the studio and watch you record?
Yeah, he might come to the studio and hang out a little bit.
He's G-Man. Sal used to have a rap career as G-Man.
Right, I forgot about that.
He was G-Man. How's the marriage, Sal? Anything changing? Or
it's going pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm seeing a therapist now, so that's working out.
Yeah. So what's he tell you to be nice for your wife?
Well, he made me realize a lot of things that I hated about my father, that I'm actually the same way.
Right.
And he put a lot of the things on me. I said to him, why am I so detached to my wife? Why can't I get the love that she gave to the emotional friend? She would spend so much time with this guy. She doesn't even want to pat me on the back.
Right.
And he says that she's detached to you because you have her convinced that you don't give a shit about her.
Right.
He goes, she's thrown in the towel. She's like, why do I care to converse with a man who's not listening to me?
Maybe you're right. Your old man was always cheating on your mom and all that kind of stuff. And maybe you're kind of like the same thing, like you're being bad to your wife, like trying to identify with your dad or something weird.
I don't know, but he's bringing up a lot of crazy stuff about me growing up, and I'm really angry at my father now, and that bothers me because I don't want to confront him.
How will you change this behavior? I mean, what's going to go on? Like, how are you being different to your wife?
I'm actually listening to her.
You are?
Yeah, I'm making an effort to listen.
Oh, that's rough.
What is she saying now that you're listening?
She tells me about all the conversations she has with her friends.
Sal, I'm so sorry.
Are you finding anything?
I have bruises on my feet from curling my toes. Yes, dear.
What did Debbie say? Debbie is funny.
In other words, you come in for the day and, after work, and you sit down with her and you say, honey, how was your day? And then she tells you about her friends and what they said and the kids. And you, how long does this go on that you have to listen?
Seems like years.
Sal, can I give you a piece of advice? If you ask a woman how their day was, they'll start telling you how their day was.
Yeah.
So you got to be
good for you. But okay, but here I am.
You know, they got to invent an invisible iPod for Sal, so that while this is going on, he's listening to his iPod. You just nod. So have you learned to appreciate what your wife is saying? In other words, is any of it interesting to you?
Yes, it is. You know what? That's the thing, Howard. I'm making an effort to listen to her and actually get involved in what she finds interesting.
So what does she find interesting, if you may?
Not you.
What have you found interesting about her? That's what.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still working on that, you know. I mean, it's going to take a while. I mean, it's baby steps right now. But I do listen to her. I do find her very interesting. I do, you know, I love her very much.
It's working, huh?
It's working,
Is there a particular storyline that your wife has been telling you that you find interesting about one of her friends, or is there anything you can even remember?
Something new you learned about her?
Right.
Anything. Nothing. I mean, I wish I could. I mean, I wish I could.
See, I suspect you're really not taking this seriously.
Oh, I am. Believe me, Howard. I mean, nothing that I don't think you would find interesting. I mean, she might say to me, hey, today at work, this girl I work with is really funny. You know, she told funny stories, and I'll listen to the stories. And then I'm trying to think what else. You know, I'm just...
So she says, there's a girl at work. There's a girl at work.
Right.
And she told me a story today.
Right.
And it's very interesting.
Yes.
And then she tells you the whole story.
Yes.
Right.
Meanwhile, you know, Sal's really good at listening to you and just saying, yeah, every once in a while. Because I'll talk to him and tell him a story, and he'll just say, oh, yeah, yeah. And then I'll look over at him, and he's watching, like, piss videos or something.
Well, that's
totally not paying attention to me.
Well, he's working.
Right. You know, I'm making an effort, and I am, believe it or not, Howard, I'm interested in my wife's stories. It's important to listen to people. My therapist said that my mind is so congested, which it's like Grand Central Station in there. And he says that when you go home, you need to look at your wife in the eye and take a genuine interest in what she's doing. That's why you're detached.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like you go home, and it's kind of like the Joe Buck show before Artie got on. Really, really boring.
You need somebody to come in there and
So who's Artie?
You need Artie to come
thank
on
you.
and make
Okay, I'll take the Artie side.
Now,
so wait, his wife is Joe Buck.
So as a result of you listening,
yes,
has your wife given you any more?
A little more.
Right, so is she doing her part, in other words?
Yes, she is. And, you know, my wife is starting to extend compassion to me because she recently dyed her hair pink again.
Right.
And...
Yes.
And when she dyed her hair pink, I got upset. I got emotionally upset. And she
Why?
said, well, because that pink I associated...
With the emotional friend?
Yes.
Because when she was seeing that other guy...
He liked pink hair.
He liked her pink hair.
Yeah, I refer to the pink as like, you know, when you're putting a car back, you're selling a used car, you polish up the fenders. That pink hair was her going on the market. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the peacock flailing the feathers. And I made an association to that pink hair of an era in our life where she was, unfortunately, with the emotional friend. So she went out and did it again. And she said to me, you know, I made a face. She said, what's wrong? I said, well, I make the association with that. And I got upset and I got teary-eyed. And she was very upset, too. And she apologized.
Get lost!
And she got teary-eyed as well. So it was the first time she extended. She usually laughs. She laughed every time I express myself.
Right.
My wife, you know, we went to therapy.
I feel that way with you, too. I laugh a lot when you express yourself.
When we went to therapy, she laughed. I was crying and she was laughing. And then when we left, she said, I could have spent that $300 on a pair of jeans and we're wasting our time here. But she's now...
So the pink is gone?
No, the pink's still there.
Oh, it's still there?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not going to change
Well, because I have to be mature about it as well. You know, I can't be tied into that.
And is the emotional friend gone? She's definitely not seeing him or writing him anymore?
As far as I know, the emotional friend is gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you trust that the emotional friend is gone?
I have to. You know, I have to move forward. I do trust it. I do believe it.
Gilbert doesn't.
But I did believe it in the past as well. But things are going really, really good for now.
Hey,
Richard, what I hear about you is that you are no longer interacting with the staff because you feel underappreciated. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all.
What's going on? I noticed you don't come out of your cubbyhole anymore.
Interacting with the staff? What does this mean?
He stopped interacting with all the other employees here because he feels that he's underappreciated.
No, not that I'm underappreciated. It's just you catch so much crap from people after a while. You just want to kind of chill out, do your work. I stay with Sal. We have a blast in our office.
Oh, good
and
for you.
I try to keep it a positive atmosphere because Will and I really got into it about a month ago. Yeah.
Well, I heard Will was doing his job, and you came in with a joke or something you wanted to put
No, it was the Iron Sheik was on, and me and Sal were calling in with drops, which you love. And,
love that, yeah.
Yeah, and we were both trying to do it at the same time, which I guess screws Will up, and he got really angry and yelled at me about it, about calling in with these drops, and it really upset me.
He yelled at you about the drop? Well, we need to do that.
I know.
What are you doing? Hold on, what?
Will will come in a second.
Maybe Will can't handle it.
That they were calling him with drops. they don't talk. Sal and Richard weren't talking to each other, so they're both almost like competing to call in.
Well, because it's exciting and they're trying to get it going.
But it also freezes the phone system. Like, one could say, they're right next to each other. They can say, you call and I'll call.
I see.
But sometimes we get in such, we get so excited. We're just both doing our thing.
When Sheik was on that day, we called in with Gary, which was very funny. We called in with Artie. Right. And then Richard was calling in with the Sheik, yelling at the Sheik.
Well, don't you think in periods of time like that, things do get a little out of control, but it's to be expected?
Yeah.
Because you're writing on the cuff. This is a bit going on the cuff. Don't you think you should be able to roll with something like that?
I do roll with it. And it's no different. I yell at them all the time. It was no different than any other time, which is kind of interesting.
No, this was pretty bad. He was screaming.
You finally reacted to it, which was funny. People were more off-put that you went crazy.
But what good is it being funny off the air? In other words, why yell at Richard in front of all the other interns and all the other people in there?
It's demeaning to him.
It's demeaning to him. Fuck! He's a writer on the show, and he's trying to work with you. And, he's exuberant, but why put that down?
Because they don't listen to just basic logic when you say, no, that doesn't work, or no, I can't put that up right now. They hit you again and again and again and again and again. Right. And finally, you blow your stack. You get frustrated. You say, shut the hell up and get out of here.
Yeah, he does say that. Right. He's really, when Will is mad, Howard, there's an angry side to him.
But in other words, what you're saying is it dampens your creativity. You get defeated. And
it doesn't.
No, it really does. It makes us think, well, we don't want to upset other people. We're getting screamed at for trying to do our job, and it puts us in a weird place.
Well, I want the three of you to go back and figure out, A, how you're going to talk to each other civilly. That's number one. If this doesn't get settled by today, I am going to step in.
Ooh.
I'm going to sit down with the three of you and find out what the real problem is. Because, number one, creativity around here should be encouraged.
Yes.
It should be done, you guys have to come up with systems. You're going to sit down, you're going to look at each other in the face, which is painful enough, and you're going to say to each other, okay, the next time a guest is in like the Iron Sheik, how are we going to work together so that this can work?
We've made up since then.
Yeah, and Will apologized. I mean, everything's cool. It was just weird for a while.
It sounds
it sounds like you're walking around. You're not walking around the halls.
Sounds like you're not doing your job.
Yeah, sometimes
you're inhibited by Will.
No, he is, because I'll go in on Richard's behalf. If Richard wants to call in with drops and I'm doing drops.
That's ridiculous. Go ahead.
I don't know what went on with all these guys. I didn't see it. I just heard about it after the fact. And Richard and I get along great. We sort of found our place now.
That's right.
But Richard is, to me, one of the most passive-aggressive people I've ever met in my life. And I understand what Will's talking about in the sense, like, the reason Richard and I haven't worked out now is he IMs me. And he says, I've got this bit, I've got that bit. Where in the past, he would stand in front of my desk and I would go, okay, I'll get to it. And he wouldn't leave till I got to it, and I would say no to something, and he would go, but I think it's really good. I go, but we're not going to do that. But I think you should do it. But Richard, I said no.
Right.
So it can be, it can get
heated.
It can get heated, and I can understand where Will could get upset about it. But Richard and I haven't worked out great. Like, he texts me now,
but honestly,
and that's great.
Honestly, it is weird. Like,
you don't take no for an answer.
But Richard, I miss the days of coming in and telling you stories. Now I feel
love your stories.
But I feel like I can't do that.
You can, but you got to learn. You got to understand when somebody's on a phone. Like, Richard's the only person I know who will walk in when I'm on the phone and just start talking. But I think that's just like a...
But I don't do that. So it can't be that important.
Well, exactly. Right. But like, if you say, okay, Richard, I got it, or I'll let him know, or I don't know if we're going to use that. Right. If Richard feels really strongly about his, take no for an answer. Now, so if you feel really strongly, you pick your places and you come back a second time. Right. But Richard comes back like a fifth and a sixth time.
But it's only when it's stuff that's really important to the show.
But if I say no, it's no.
No, but I know, and I've learned that, but... There's times where something's timely, like I'll have a story about something you're talking about, and Gary will be on the phone, and I think, well, I would like to tell Gary this now because you're talking about it right now.
I don't know. Everybody else seems to have found that way. Like, Sal gets it, and like, Sal picks his places. Like, Sal will say...
maybe Richard's exuberance is the kind of energy we need around here.
It's great, but it can, sometimes he overdoes it. There's a middle ground.
Right.
But I've been good, but I don't come in anymore.
But you should. Like, he used to come in every Monday morning and tell me about his weekend. I got to tell you, like... 2 out of the 4 times it bored the shit out of me, but the other 2 times it was great. I would take notes, and that would be awesome. But you have to understand that every time isn't the greatest, and everything. Nobody bats 1,000, Richard.
What I'm hearing is that Richard shouldn't give up.
He shouldn't.
You should continue to, figure out, try to read the room, try to read people's moods. But the fact of the matter is, I want your exuberance. I want you in there pitching, and I want you doing your thing.
But it's not that others don't appreciate his work.
Right.
I think
you have to learn to listen to him a little bit or not yell at him so much. You get very angry. I know you do.
Dude, it lasts like a second. And then it's over. And then that was the part that upset me because I was like, well, dude, we yell at each other all the time. It's like the heat of the moment. It's over. Let's move on. But it's hurting him because he's afraid to approach it.
But when you're working
what is he, 5?
We're doing a live show.
Yes, we're 5.
Okay.
He's mentally 5.
I get paid to make prank calls. Of course I'm 5.
We're doing a live show 4 days a week. So within that time, of course, you know, if everything you do is on it. You know what I mean? It's like, so of course that's going to happen.
I want this worked out, Gary. I want it worked out. Don't give me the messy details. We'll go back and work it out with these guys.
I'll take care of it, Howard. Leave it to me. I'll take care of it. Yeah, if you're asking Gary, let me take care of it.
Thank you. All right.
Like you took care of the Letterman interview?
Very good.
And I know you want to take a break, Howard, but can Sal tell a story real quick about having to move a refrigerator recently?
We have a new Tradio call, too, Howard, if you like.
Very good.
Yeah, Richard's a new character that I love.
But what's his new character?
Simon Buckingham III. He's an English guy.
All right.
Let's hear your English accent.
Can't wait to hear that.
Yeah.
But Sal has a funny, embarrassing story about moving a fridge.
What is it? Does it involve your wife?
No, it doesn't. I had to pick up a host for a comedy show in Brooklyn, and we had to go to Rhode Island. So I get to his house, and he goes, hey, can you just do me a quick favor? And we're late. He goes...
You're not telling the story well, are you?
No, he's not.
Yeah,
here's how the story starts.
I'm not telling it well.
Richard, they have a gig in Rhode Island. Right. Richard, like a normal person, takes the train.
Right.
Sal, like who's too cheap to pay for the train, will glom a ride wherever he can. So he gets his opening act to give him a lift. Sal gets there to pick the guy up or to take the ride.
Right.
And the guy's like, okay, great, but first you have to help me move this refrigerator. And so Sal's always doing stuff
down a flight of stairs. And then when I get down to the flight of stairs and I'm all sweaty, my shirt's full of rust and water from this piece of fridge, he goes, okay, now can we just bring this one up? So there was a refrigerator.
So in other words, Gary, your point is if Sal would just buy a ticket on the train.
Right.
He wouldn't have, but because he's trying to scam his way to the gig, he hires a guy that he didn't even know, but he has a car that will drive him to the gig.
And in my estimation, it might be having a car is more important to opening for them than being funny.
Right. Yeah.
Well, no, that happens in comedy. Absolutely.
Well, first of all, he's a great comic. He's Gino Bisconti.
Oh, Gino, yeah.
He's an awesome host. And I went to go with him, and he had me move a refrigerator up and down a flight of stairs.
And they were late for the show, too.
Is it hard to feel like a superstar when you have to move a refrigerator first? All right, listen, I do have to take a break. It's very late. We have a lot to get to. Mr. G is coming in next. And we'll be back, right? But on vacation. And I do want to talk to Sal. Because I was actually...
something happened to Sal?
No, I was thinking about Sal when I was on vacation, of all people, because I said, what does he do for 2 weeks when he's home with his wife? And I know his wife doesn't like when he's home.
Well, is he off? I think
does he
works,
take off
though.
the whole 2 weeks?
He came in?
I think he's here. I'm not positive, but I think he's here.
I don't see that much work from him. If he was
you
here
thought he was off.
I don't know.
I think he physically has to come.
I mean, I know he was in charge of Grillo Goes to Harlem. I didn't play you that, did I?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, this is just, after Michael Jackson died, Steve Grillo went up to Harlem to see the reaction of the black community to Michael Jackson's death. And there was a lot of interesting things said. Here's a couple of them. Steve Grillo, our old intern.
He's our man on the street.
He's our man on the street. Let's see what he found. These are just a couple of random people. Actually, this first person's I believe this is a woman, but go figure.
Where were you when you heard the news that Michael Jackson died?
I was home at 48th Street in Cookhouse.
Why?
Yeah, that's a woman.
Wow.
Her name is Debbie. I'm not kidding.
Oh, Debbie.
What would you say to the kid that accused Michael Jackson of molesting him?
What I say? Stay away from him. Because they did it to him. It started off with, what's that guy's name? Johnny Mathis. He's a babysit for them. He used to do it to them, so they grew up and did it to other people.
Well,
would you like to sing a song in Michael's honor? I'll sing with you.
All right.
What do you want to sing?
I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll
right, that was awesome, Debbie. Describe Michael Jackson in one word.
Action.
Who should take care of Michael Jackson's kids now?
His wife.
But he wasn't married.
His aunt Deborah.
Oh, but she wasn't his wife, though.
Yes, she was.
Well,
the white blonde girl.
Yeah, but she donated her eggs.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was his wife.
Well, I was interested to see that somebody actually thought that, who was it babysat Michael Jackson?
Johnny Mathis.
Johnny
now, that's
Mathis.
news. I have never heard that before.
Neither did I.
You'll not hear that on any other show.
Now, that's abuse.
Because I don't think that ever happened.
Johnny Mathis, he was the babysitter.
Right.
Debbie's getting wrong information.
I understand Debbie, after that interview, was signed to Maryanne's Records. Here's another just random person we ran into trying to get comment on Michael Jackson's death.
Now, where were you when you heard the news of the death of Michael Jackson?
I was sitting in my house doing the puzzle when I heard about it. I dropped the book, and I came out to see my wife, to let my wife know. She started crying.
Why do so many people get together to mourn Michael when they don't even know him?
Because you don't have to know a person to love him through his music. His music, his dance is what's happening.
Now, you think Michael Jackson's father should feel guilty?
Yes, I do, because he was too hard on Michael Jackson. I mean, he worked this boy, man, like he worked an elephant, man. He get no childhood play. It's all work, work, work. When at his age, he's supposed to get childhood play, learn to get along with other kids, hang out in the park, where he got none of that. He treated him like he was an adult, and I think that was very bad.
Do you think he had too much plastic surgery?
Yes, I did. I think he had too much plastic surgery, and I think that if that played a big part in him, too, as far as his skin condition and everything. You know, I think if he'd have let off on that, he might have been all right, too, with that.
What would you like to say to the kid who accused Michael of molesting him?
I like to say to him, well, I don't blame you at first because you was young, but I give you respect because when you got older, you admitted the truth, and that's what's more important. Now, the mother and the father should have been punished for it.
What?
No, that's another revelation. He claims that the kid who accused him of child molestation admitted the truth. But wow. I don't know that happened either.
I don't know anything about that.
He got $23 million and then said it was
right. There's a lot of rumors going around. I haven't heard this last montage. This is several different people, I guess, commenting on the death of Michael Jackson. Are you interested?
Yes.
All right.
Describe MJ in one word.
Phenomenal.
Do you think Michael Jackson's father should feel guilty?
Guilty of what? In the black community, when I was coming up, all of us got ass kickings. Black belts and whatever.
Now, do you think it's unfair to remember him as a child molester?
Yes, it is. That's the white media, man. That's the game they play on us. We're the firstborn. That's the game they play on us. Yes.
Now, do you think Michael Jackson, the plastic surgery is that what led to Michael Jackson's demise?
Oh, the plastic surgery was Michael Jackson had really was from the vultures that was around him and made him do these certain things. Because this was not of God. That was of the people that was around him for the money purposes.
Do you think Michael Jackson's father should feel guilty?
Black people raise their children different. Our culture is different. And we do discipline our children. And that's how we do. I got beatings also, so that my mother and father and everyone else did.
What would you like to say to the kid who accused Michael Jackson of molesting him?
That's a lie, because in the black family, we all slept together in our homes and whatnot. Let's go far back. Michael Jackson did not molest that little boy. He's a liar.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, it's one thing if you sleep with your siblings and you're poor. It's another if you sleep with somebody else's kids.
Yeah, why are you bringing in other kids?
Yeah, I mean, he had enough room for separate bedrooms in that Neverland Ranch. And
I think he had about 18 bedrooms.
I think so. Certainly lots of room for the kids. But, you know, there you have various people talking about their opinions of what goes on. And as you heard, there's a lot of beatings that go on in the black community, and let's keep that going.
I got beatings. My mother and father got beatings.
Yeah, it seems to work. And I told you, that belt was responsible for the moon walk.
Yeah, those people obviously aren't using the right belt.
And with any luck, Joe Jackson will get his hands on these 3 kids of Michael Jackson's and beat them into the superstars that Michael Jackson was. So we can expect more great music coming out of the Jackson 3.
He didn't beat Tito enough.
If he had beaten Tito a little more, he would have started walking backwards, too.
Running backwards.
Tito didn't get enough beating.
He did the moon run.
Well, you know, Tito was one of the older kids. He didn't perfect the beatings until he got to Marital.
I see what you're saying.
It was an experiment.
Well, believe me, I know that they're thinking of setting up some sort of museum for Michael Jackson. I'm hoping the belt will be prominently displayed with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
The original belt.
Here's the belt, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Just I'm blaming him for the potato problem. I didn't blame him. Gary said to fire him. I just want to know who's to blame.
I heard Gary say it.
And someone had to be fired. Doug's here to say goodbye to our show. Doug, why are you mad at me? I didn't blame. I just said your team back there threw away my potatoes.
I'm mad at the whole thing.
Why did they throw away my potatoes?
Because we were ready with that bit on Monday.
Yeah.
We were ready on Tuesday.
Right.
We did the bit on Tuesday.
Oh, so there's a timetable. Why didn't know this?
You know what? This is why you can't win. We had the food up here since Friday, okay?
No, you didn't.
Yes,
no,
we
you
did.
Didn't.
How would you know? You're not here on Fridays. Of course we did.
No, but the point is, I wrote a note. I talked in the meeting about how we should have when we get Robin's bra.
What meeting? Yesterday?
No.
Oh,
when we talked here,
okay.
It's informal discussion. Okay. I shouldn't call it a meeting.
Go ahead.
When I said, let's get Robin's bras and fill them up with potatoes, get 5-pound bags of potatoes so we know how much they weigh.
And we did that.
And you did that.
And the bit was yesterday. I'm not going to leave.
The bit is ongoing until I say it's over.
How do I know that?
You don't. You should have asked me. Why would you give away the potatoes until you asked me?
Well, because, here's why. Because it's been up here since Friday. Okay, potatoes do have a long shelf life. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of perishable stuff. We had fruits. We had other stuff.
Why do you have mayonnaise here from 1912?
Because
if you're so worried about perishables.
And mice and roaches, not that they are up here.
Oh, you're worried about it?
Yeah. No, here's what happens. Then I leave food on the floor, and it rots, or you see a mouse, you see a bug.
Then why did you buy the food on Friday?
Why'd you leave the food up here? What's wrong with you guys?
All of a sudden,
then we don't leave it here, and we're
Robin, there's more crap around here that they leave laying around.
Yeah, but not stuff that can rot. It's a respect thing. I want to get rid of stuff that can rot. Or that can
but why don't you ask me if the bit's over? Because as far
why
Gary does that with me.
Why don't you send me a note? Or
Doug, don't get rid of the potatoes. The bit's not over?
No.
You mean I got to do that with everybody?
No, well, sort of, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, write down all the bits. Listen,
Howard,
Gary, how many bits do I have running right now that I haven't gotten to for years?
That's fine, but
we have them ready to go.
When it involves a visual, let us know. You saw the bit. You sent me a note. It's funny last night.
So the potatoes had to go.
How about, hey, funny, make sure we have potatoes tomorrow. I want to do something. I have an idea.
I should remind everybody. No. I should keep in my head a catalog of ongoing bits and how to have them ready to go.
But you made an assumption.
Why don't you? No, you made the assumption. Don't turn it around on me.
That's true.
You made the assumption the bits. No, I'm not wrong at all, Doug.
You are.
Doug, the bit was go buy me 5-pound bags of potatoes to put in Robin's bra.
That was not a primary thing. You're focusing and you're changing history now, saying you didn't lock on to the potatoes.
Yes, I did.
We talked about melons. We talked about cantaloupes.
No, you talked about melons. I wasn't interested in melons. Are a cliche. Robin's melons. I wanted something I could weigh. 5-pound bags of potatoes. That's all I wanted.
Okay, now I have 30 pounds of potatoes.
I didn't want mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is from some other stuff.
No, and the 30 pounds of potatoes aren't good. I need them in 5-pound bags.
Well, we'll weigh 5 pounds.
Thanks. I know, I'm wrong. And by the way, from now on, every day what I'll do is I'll catalog everything we have ongoing, and I'll write you a note that we're still doing it.
Howard, it's just. Did anyone know this morning that you wanted to do this?
No, because I don't have to discuss it more than once. I said this is a bit we're doing.
It was a 2-minute thing. Hey guys, I want to make sure we have the potatoes, and then I wish that one of the bags was gone from yesterday. So just
one of the bags. All of the bags are gone except for one.
We had
Everyone took them home. No, we had more than 2. We had more than 2. They're all gone. Well, because everybody had to get the potatoes out of here.
I did want, and then and then you come in and you find out that there was a mouse spotted in the compound because Howard TV left the potato. I'm just saying the scenarios. That's how you do spin. You can't win.
All right, thank you.
You can't win.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm going home. I'm fired, right?
Good. Goodbye. Goodbye. Nice knowing you.
Can I give you a hug?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can I give Robin a hug?
Hey, I didn't fire you. Gary did.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I didn't have
Then I know it's not.
I would have picked I would have picked Angie or Phelan, but he picked you, so you're gone.
Okay. Well, it holds no water, so.
Goodbye. Okay. Thanks. Now bring me my bra, and bring me my potatoes in 5-pound bags.
Bring me my bra.
I have 2 5-pound bags ready.
Yeah, but we did it already. The audience doesn't want to hear that again. Does anybody still want to know how many pounds of potatoes can fit in Robin's bra if Artie is wearing it?
How about the news that Artie's wearing Robin's bra?
That's big news, too. Oh, by the way, if you want to see Artie in the bra with the potato stuffed in, with Artie flipping the bird to Jason, go to howardstern.com. There's a beautiful picture of Artie flipping the bird with his bra on and the potatoes. There it is, Robin. Did you see this?
Let me see. Where is it?
Right here.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
There he is. Charming.
Such a lady.
Would you look at... Yeah.
Hey, you're famous.
I'm like Blue Iris.
Good job.
There's urine in my feet.
All right, listen.
Are we done with the bit?
No, I don't know. We'll get to it at some point.
Because I want to eat something.
Yeah,
I don't want to look bloated.
Let's wait till, Doug thinks it's time to get rid of the potatoes again to do it.
I like that he's worried about bugs. Then don't buy them on Friday. Buy them on Monday. I don't know.
Why are you...
Have someone buy it over the weekend. Yeah. Worried about bugs all of a sudden. If you see a mouse, then they're going to blame me. I think potatoes want to, cause a major problem. Put them in a Tupperware.
No, that's not good.
No. Just get rid of them.
Just buy them when you need them.
He decided the bit was over. I didn't know how to timetable.
Well, you got to send out memos.
Yeah, I better get this stuff out quick. Now, I suppose everyone wants to know how many pounds of potatoes can fit in your bra. Why don't you just have J.D. put the bra on? Artie already did his duty.
I'll do it if you want.
You don't care?
Well, I mean, you've got those marks on you now. I don't know.
Why doesn't Doug put it on? So we don't have to fire him.
Doug would be perfect.
Hey, Doug, come in here and put on Robin's bra.
That's how you can make it up.
Yeah.
Because he's more in proportion to Robin's size.
Right. Actually, yeah, you're a little bloated, Artie.
My trainer deserves some credit. I got into Robin's bra. That was my goal.
Put on the bra and let's see how many pounds of potatoes we can put in.
Okay, this is my hazing, no problem.
This is your hazing.
Redemption.
All right, go get your bra on.
How did Artie do? I got to take my shirt off?
Yeah, take your shirt off, put on the bra, and we'll see how many pounds of potatoes can fit in there.
Okay.
Do we have it boxed in 5-pound increments? Yes, okay.
Do we have a wig for Doug?
By the way, there's a huge controversy. While Doug's putting on the bra, and thank you, Doug. While Doug is putting on his bra, boy, your bra is such a hit, Robin.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even have to show up anymore.
Things like a harness.
Oh, he's doing the brown one you like.
I think it holds me. He looks nice in it. You look cute.
Thank you.
He looks like a hairy Britney Spears.
When'd you get the 6-pack? Look at you, bro.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, put on this wig.
Who's this guy? Quiet, whoever
They just put a blonde
Sal
wig.
just put a blonde wig on you.
This is good. My face is hidden.
Yeah, move your hair just a little from your tits.
Yeah, we don't see your face.
Okay.
I'm pissed that people think Doug looks better in it than me.
He looks a little better than you.
Doug's crazy hairy, so hold your tits open.
Okay.
All right, now
okay, I showered.
Count what you're doing.
3.
Now this is the first 5 pounds, but we know the bra holds that.
4.
There's a lot of room in this thing.
It's funny from this angle.
Do you believe how big it is?
It is big.
8.
It's I feel bad for you that you carry this piece of equipment with you every day. It really is like a football uniform.
Piece of equipment. It's what's attached to me. I'm carrying.
11.
Now, how many pounds are you up to?
I'm just on the first
bag. Okay.
It's almost 5 pounds, right?
12.
No. We know it can hold 5.
Yeah, we got 5 in before.
That was the controversy.
Right.
14.
Pack them in there, Gary.
Okay. So here goes 14 and 15.
By the way,
that's the first 5 pounds.
Right, that's 5 pounds. Let me see what you look like with 5 pounds. And you say there's a lot of room?
I think it could fit 10 pounds easily.
All right, who thinks they could? I don't know if it could fit 10 pounds.
I don't think a whole other 5 pounds is getting in there.
Just keep going.
You just dropped one.
See, Doug, you don't know how to do this.
Artie was better at it.
Artie never dropped a potato until his bra was
I'm going to hold
off.
the bottom again. Just keep stuffing.
See, these potatoes are a lot bigger.
All right, yeah, but it's still 5 pounds. All right, keep counting, Gary.
I'll hold the bottom.
15, 16.
Stuffing behind the
Wait, you're bursting out here.
It's okay.
Put some in his ass.
This feels weird.
Your bra's filling up in it. Now you know what Robin goes through every day.
Yeah, my God.
Oh, he just dropped another potato.
Well, you could stretch that bra, Gary.
That's what I'm saying. Let me hold the bottom. Just stretch it.
Stretch it out. You could get a lot more potatoes in there.
Oh, my God. They're all falling
They're falling down.
You've reached capacity.
No, I haven't reached capacity. It's just that I should have put the big ones in first.
Should I lean back a little bit? No. Or that's not fair.
No, Robin doesn't lean back.
Lean back.
Doug's belly is getting bigger.
Resent that, Jason.
I'm at 19.
Keep going.
And probably 7 pounds.
Wow. Wow, look how many...
No, I take that back. Holy shit.
That's like 10 pounds.
If I can get one more big one in, Howard, I'm at 10 pounds.
10 pounds, all right.
Just shove it in.
Hold on.
10 pounds
I'm going to rearrange a little bit.
Right.
He's like a moving van guy.
Exactly.
I believe Robin's bra can hold 10 pounds of potatoes. That'll give you an idea
now,
of what...
just walk.
All right, now walk.
And room for... I think there's room for more.
You do?
I think the hair is a bigger problem.
The hair is in your face?
Yeah. It's not easy being a chick with big tits.
You have beautiful blonde hair and big titties.
Thank you.
Big potato tits.
Now can we throw you, Doug?
No, that will get you hit.
Now I want you to go down to the Holland Tunnel and offer yourself up as a hooker.
Be a tunnel bunny.
You know what? Doug looks exactly like a chick who blew me in 1988.
Wow. With the potatoes. All right. Well, there you go. 10 pounds of potatoes in Rob. Now unharness.
Now listen to
this. Listen to this. Here's when they spill out.
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
That's what Robin carries every day. Doug, now ride the Sibian. Oh, man. What?
In all fairness, Robin carries more. That's what Robin used to carry.
Right.
She carries more now.
Now she has a G-cup.
These were the same things, only it's stuffed into a small cup.
I mean, let's be serious for 1 second. That's Robin every single day of her life. Okay? So I don't want people...
Am I supposed to feel sorry for her?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Look at it.
Men love her.
Look what she's carrying around every day.
It's still less embarrassing than me and Doug look like that for 2 minutes each.
Doug, what do you...
I tried to explain to you guys why I needed surgery. You wouldn't listen.
Now do you have empathy for Robin? That's a lot to carry around. Yeah.
And I apologize for that confrontation. but I do.
Right, you
I hold my ground.
Now those pictures will live forever. Thank you. All right. There you go. Doug Z. Goodstein, executive producer.
Try it.
Howard TV. I would. There's another thing that really mystifies me, that I can't believe Richard Christie, who works for us. You know, everyone knows Richard and Sal. But Richard found a girl to go along with his idiosyncrasies. Like, Richard doesn't bathe. And, like, he's in a long-term relationship, and the girl puts up with it. And Richard's into going to haunted houses for the entire month of October.
Train trips.
It's like, he found a girl who really will do anything that it's like, and she's a very normal girl, except for the fact that she likes Richard.
Then, you see, but then you go, she can't really be normal.
Yeah, I guess. But this is wild to me. Richard has a soundtrack he goes to sleep to every night, and he's into haunted houses and horror movies. Most guys who are into heavy metal are into haunted houses and horror movies. Like I see Rob Zombie's all about Dracula.
Horror films.
And his dog's name is Dracula. So Richard goes to sleep every night to his soundtrack. And it's a soundtrack of haunted houses, I had heard, and this and that. And he was even bragging the other day that he's remixed it himself, because when he goes to sleep, some of the sounds are a little too loud, and they wake him up. So you would think, well, why bother remixing it? Why not just go to bed and not have the soundtrack
Right,
playing?
why do you have to have this playing?
But that means the girlfriend, too, is into listening. I mean, I don't know how...
Or she just has to figure out how to sleep with this racket going on.
And I heard it was spooky sounds, like, haunted house, like, ooh... And I guess I thought in some way maybe that's soothing, but I asked Richard if I could hear this soundtrack that he sleeps with, and this is it. I'm going to play it for you verbatim. Here it is. And I'm listening to this. I go, oh, it sounds like a sound machine.
There's a big, dark house near here. A very large, derelict house. It's known locally as Hangman's Folly. This
Every
old
night.
mansion.
Same month.
Well, that's what it really is. It's built on a hill. A strange and barren hill. A place where birds
Could you go to bed to this?
And animals won't go.
I
Horses
thought it would be
shy.
sounds.
And dogs
That's what
run
I
with
thought.
hackles.
It's a story. It's like a bedtime story. He's read to.
Such a baby.
But the same one every night. You have to be retarded to listen to the same story every night.
It's my favorite.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Sal told me as you're playing it, Richard is sitting in there mouthing it verbatim. He could probably do it without you playing it.
I'm going to do, that game where you have to know the next line?
Right.
Come in here. I'm going to play it, then I'm going to stop it, and I want to hear the next line. See, he's got to know every line. You got to know every line of it if you listen to it every night, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And why did you remix it? Because some of the sounds were too loud?
There's screaming parts on there that would, like, scare the shit out of us. You know, it's about an hour and a half long and about an hour into it.
And you're asleep by what point in the thing every night?
It depends. If we're real tired, I'll fall asleep during track 1, which is like, 3 or 4 minutes. Or a lot of times it's by track 4 or 5.
But it plays while you're sleeping, right? I mean, it goes on.
And then the screaming wakes you up.
Yeah. Yeah, or thunder. There's a lot of lightning, too, that would scare the shit out of us.
So, and you found the girl who, like, doesn't think this is odd, and she enjoys it, too.
Well, she won't listen to it when she's at home by herself, because it scares her, but she likes when I'm laying next to her and we listen to it together.
You found someone who's...
They are soulmates, obviously.
Yeah, you're really soulmates.
She's awesome.
Yeah, you should marry her. You'll never find one like this.
That's
really.
true, yeah.
And she's attractive, and so it's like it works out.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
As I play this, I'm going to stop it. I want you to give me the next line.
Okay.
Raised in fright. Nothing much grows there anymore. It is a dank and desolate place.
Where birds won't go, and, oh, man.
Dank and desolate place.
A dank and desolate place where birds won't go. Nothing much grows there anymore.
Nobody stays for long.
Nobody stays for long.
They say it's haunted.
You're bad.
You listen to this every night?
Every night?
I know the very beginning, but he goes on for a little while, and I forget.
All right.
Play on track 12, it starts where he's in a graveyard. That's my favorite one. Come on, Artie. This is good stuff.
That's the graveyard?
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Do you ever start it from track 12?
Oh, yeah.
Richard's falling asleep. It must really work.
This is my favorite part.
If you walk through Witch's Wood.
What?
If you walk through Witch's Wood, past the hanging tree, down Den's Lane, you'll come to a wooden footbridge.
Past the hanging tree, then down Man's Lane, over the wooden footbridge past Creepy Hollow.
You got it.
You will come to an ancient graveyard.
What's that, a dog?
Uh-huh.
No.
His girlfriend.
What's with heavy metal guys in monster movies? Like, why do they go hand in hand?
That's a good question.
I mean, Rob Zombie's like, he lives his whole life in a
his whole
horror
house
movie.
is full of memorabilia.
Just dark stuff.
He drives around in the Munstermobile.
Because they're weirdos.
The Dragula.
Like, I saw his house looks like the perfect house to me. I saw pictures of it where he has all this monster memorabilia, and it's almost like a haunted house.
Yeah.
And if I ever got rich, I always said I would turn my house into a haunted house.
Yeah, him too. I mean, he's done it. He is rich.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to take a beautiful house and trash it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I might as well just buy an old house.
If I ever got rich.
No, the real haunted house is exactly where Richard grew up.
That's right.
On that desolate farm.
It is. A guy fell down our stairs into our basement and died, like 70 years ago.
And he probably still lives there.
Well, my mom was back there one time and said she felt somebody tap her on the shoulder.
See?
Safe for mortals to be here.
And, well,
especially after dark.
I just find it amazing. You found a girl who, like, totally... like I know if I was listening to this in bed, probably Beth would leave me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm wondering when you introduce this, in a relationship.
You should try it, like around Halloween. Just play this when you go to sleep. It's fun.
I'm an adult. I don't care about Halloween. I don't put an ounce of thought into Halloween. It makes no difference to me.
You don't look forward to Halloween parties and pumpkin beer and all that stuff?
No. Not at all. I never even think about it. Pumpkin beer. You're starting to look like a pumpkin from all that beer. Look at the size of you.
I know.
Big and orange.
I told my girlfriend she's got to start cooking healthy for me because I'm going to be drinking a lot of pumpkin beer in the coming months.
Yeah, it's coming up.
You got to get ready.
I went looking on Friday. We're going to, we're going to Denver. We're going to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios in Orlando.
Right.
We might go out to California to Knott's Scary Farm. We're going to Connecticut. There's a big beer fest up there, and we're going to the Trail of Terror. And we're going to Field of Screams and Shocktoberfest in Pennsylvania.
Oh, I wish I had something like this in my life.
Me too. I have chess, but this is way more exciting.
No, see, chess doesn't take you anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I'm a world traveler.
Yeah. So are you taking planes or trains, or what are you doing?
Well, we're flying to Florida and to Denver, and then everything else is kind of trains.
Right.
You know.
Nice.
It's close enough.
All right. Well, hey, listen, you're happy.
Yeah, it's fun. This coming up is my favorite time of the year.
You wake up happy every day?
Pretty much, yeah.
You're an alcoholic, so I'm thinking there must be something bothering you.
No, not really. I'm a happy drunk, too. When I drink, I'm happy, you know.
Right. All right, there he is. There's Richard Christie. He found a girl to go. Like, I used to,
truly, did you, the first time she slept over, did you pop that in?
No, I had to ease her into it.
Yeah.
Did she think it was weird at first? She was like, I'm not going to listen to this?
No, she liked it. She ended up liking it.
And now every night it's in there. And
I have it on my iPod, and I have a little iPod player next to the bed, and we listen to it.
So it's in the whole room.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty wild, huh?
Amazing.
But I remixed it. I did it a leveler where the screams and the narration are all the same level now, so it doesn't startle us.
What is this CD? How do you get this?
It's very hard to find. I bought it about 15 years ago.
Right.
But it's called Night in a Haunted House / Night in a Graveyard.
And who is the narrator?
That's, I've searched everywhere to find out because I love his voice. I would love to do something with the guy. And I went on Halloween message boards and everything and can't find out who it is. So if somebody finds out, please email me at richardchristie.com.
I'm desperate to know.
Yeah.
Especially after dark. For here is a place of twilight. A place occupied, they say, by half-beings.
By what?
Half-beings.
Half-beings. What's a half-being?
I guess, I don't know. Ghost, probably.
What do you make of this? I'm going to go around the room. Artie, what do you make of this?
I think Richard's deeply disturbed. I mean, at first I thought he was doing some of this to be shocking and funny, but this is odd behavior.
Right.
Where, like, if I like Richard, but I don't really know if I want to know him.
Looks like me with Dominic.
Yeah.
What about you, Fred? What do you make of it?
I find the CD annoying.
Right. And what about you, Robin?
I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
I bet Benji likes it.
Benji, you want to comment, or...
I can understand it, because, like, what?
See?
But I have to tell girls, like, when I sleep with them, like, I might... In a couple hours, I might be screaming and like, grabbing you and punching in the air. So
you have nights.
I understand having to,
All right.
Just another plus on your dreamboat that's docked.
When you get to sleep with a guy as hot as Benji, the only negative might be you might get punched in the face during your sleep.
You're willing to risk that?
He's so similar to Antonio Sabato Jr.
I told Doug we should set up a time-lapse camera, a night vision camera at his apartment so we can watch him get the night terrors, filming for like 10 hours.
You mean Benji's apartment?
Yeah, Benji's apartment. I think it'd be funny to see, to watch for 10 hours and see what happens.
Yeah, well, many a woman's gotten to see that. That he found on the internet. Another plus. Yeah. Put that one in the plus.
Bye.
Now I have tape, Fred, of him saying ack. So you could have that.
So he does make that sound.
Now he does.
He's in denial.
Eric, do you say ack? Okay, thank you.
That's so funny.
Hey, Eric. Eric. You there?
Yes.
You do say ack.
No, I don't.
Listen.
It's not a sound I make when I talk.
Who's this, then?
I was reading what the typed, you idiot.
Big mistake.
So
you said ack.
That was probably Richard or Sal, just to get you to say it.
Why do you kick people out for saying ack?
Because it's a sound I don't make.
Yeah, but they're having fun.
To make fun of me.
How many people are in the room total?
Quite a few.
Like when you're doing your idol show, how many people are typically are in the room with you? 20?
20 or more, I guess.
Right.
I don't.
And if someone writes ack, you kick them out?
Yes.
I don't think you can afford to lose any of those people in the room.
Yeah, right.
I heard you kick people out for using large font also.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like to be yelled at like that.
Right?
Right.
So explain that to me. I mean, if somebody writes in caps or a large font, you kick them out?
Yes, because in computer terms, that's considered yelling.
Oh. Do you ever yell in caps?
No.
Even if you're really angry?
Right.
Wow. Well, he's not rude, at least.
Well, he yells, though, in his voice. He was pretty rude to that guy who said ack.
Yeah, but ack is evidently, according to Eric, a very offensive thing to him.
Called him a jackass.
Yeah. Ack, jackass.
Ack-ass.
Ack. Someone just typed in the room that we averaged between 50 to 1,500 people.
Wow.
50 to 1,500. That is a wide span.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's very good. All right, Johnny Fratto is on the air. He's mad at Eric.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's our fault, though.
Oh, well.
Hey, Johnny, clear something up for Eric, because I got blamed yesterday. You're not talking to Eric.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. You're not talking to Eric because, the way I understand it, because he woke you up and makes silly demands at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, that's not all. See, like he said, he called her, and he likes to talk to my son, Joe. Well, besides them both being the same size, Joe's 6.
Right.
He ain't got nothing to talk to Joe about. 6 months ago, before all this bunny ranch shit and everything, it didn't bother me that he wanted to talk to Joe. But now, you know what I'm saying, Howard?
Eric, why do you want to talk to Johnny's 6-year-old son so much?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there was... Well, what would you tell me a couple of weeks ago, Johnny, that when he was at school one day, someone said, oh, your dad knows Eric the Midget, and he corrected the kid, said that, no, it's Eric the actor.
Yes, he did do that. He did do that, Howard, that's for sure. But
what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, why did you say that, Eric? That doesn't answer the question.
So, Eric, you wanted to commend the kid for being so kind?
Yeah, obviously the kid, likes me.
Yeah, but, I mean, how many conversations can you have with Johnny's kid,
Well, they talked about a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Well, Johnny, you're upset now that Eric is a big perv and he's talking to your 6-year-old?
I mean, just because he talked to the kid, I don't think Eric was up to anything weird.
Oh, nothing like that at all.
Right.
But, then if Joe answers the phone, it guarantees that I'm there and I have to pick up.
So are you friends with Eric now, or are you guys just, like, off limits?
I am friends with Eric. I'm always going to be friends with Eric. Yeah. I mean, Eric's a little upset with me now because apparently I called the wrong number. Did you tell him, Eric?
What is this?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Well,
let him tell you, Howard. Tell him what happened. Terrible thing happened last night, Howard.
Right, because, everyone knows that Johnny gets on Ambien, and he was trying to call me, but instead of calling me, he ended up calling my parents' house at 5:30 in the morning and waking them up.
Don't you think Johnny did that to get back at you?
I don't know.
Johnny, right? You woke his parents up because he wakes you up.
Well, I'm not going to say it didn't occur to me.
Why does Johnny have your parents' number?
Well,
no, it's his house.
There.
Oh, he lives there. Oh, I see.
No, Johnny, you called the lake house that I used to live at.
Right.
And, because you had that number, because I used to live there.
Yeah, but the point is, Eric, that you call Johnny at inappropriate times and wake him up. He wants you to see how it feels.
And he did, Robin. When he called me this morning, he was screaming. That's why I'm calling tonight.
Yeah.
Called me up and yelled at me.
Johnny, what is in this for you, by the way? Why are you so involved with Eric the Midget at this point?
I have no idea.
Yeah, what are you up to, really?
I don't know.
Is it sort of like a fun thing so you're connected with our show? Or, I mean, what's going on here? I mean, what's in this for you?
I mean, I think I don't need him to get on your show.
Right.
But I don't know.
How'd you get hooked up with him in the first place? I mean, what possessed you to get involved with Eric?
Flying with the balloons. I thought I could get him to fly with the balloons.
I see.
Well, Johnny owns JFSC. He promotes, stuff on that website.
Yeah, but that wasn't the first, he didn't own that at the time. I think that was a creation after Eric. He says he was trying to get Eric to fly on with balloons.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Johnny wanted to be, a hero to the show.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then things got out of hand.
And then he got stuck with Eric.
Well, and Johnny has an interesting life, and he tells great stories, and he turned out to be a great guest.
No, I'm just saying he got stuck with Eric trying to help us out.
No, I know, but I'm pointing out to Eric as well that, Johnny could definitely be interviewed by us without his help.
So then what happened was we got to be friends, and time went on. But the phone, he kept ringing the phone too much, and I told him once the baby's born, my lifestyle has to change.
Right.
And Howard, do me a favor, okay?
Yeah.
Don't have any kids. I'm serious.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not. Meanwhile, I got 3 kids of my own, and my 16-year-old just got her learner's permit, and we went driving yesterday.
She drove you?
She drove me, and it was her second time driving. And, boy, you get real nervous there. That's your little...
I'm surprised you were able to work today.
Oh, my God. Because that's my little baby right there. And all of a sudden I go, I can't believe you're driving me. And, but she got me up and down the driveway anyway.
Oh, that's as far as you went?
Well, we went down a couple of streets.
Yeah.
And boy, that's tough.
Kids I got, I'm going to say, take the car and go. Right with him and nothing, Howard.
Here's a pack of cigarettes.
No, they're on their own. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Johnny, Eric, let me go because I got a million things to get to today on the show.
Oh. You got it, Howard.
All right, Johnny. Take care.
Wait.
See you later, Eric.
What do you want?
What do you want, Eric?
As it was mentioned on the show last...
Hi, buddy.
Hold on, let me finish. Go ahead.
Both of my co-hosts have received late-night calls from Johnny himself.
They don't have kids.
It goes both ways. He calls people late at night, too, and one of the people he calls is on the East Coast.
All right, take it up with Johnny.
Eric, you go both ways?
Hey, Johnny, why are you calling...
I don't
Hey, Johnny, why are you calling Eric's co-host late at night?
I didn't call his co-host. I called his parents.
Well, you didn't yesterday, but both Gina and King said that they've received late-night phone calls from you.
Well, that's possible. I really wish I could remember.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
All right, Eric the Midget and Johnny Fratto, power
working
couple.
Out their
the idiot.
Working out their problems.
Eric the butt. Eric the housewife.
Get passionate and yell at each other.
See how passionate you feel about somebody, and then your guy's not in.
And you got to live with it.
And you got to live with it. So there's that, and then you have to face them. And these people have, their hopes and dreams. They've made it all the way to Vegas, and then they face you, and then they give us...
I think that's going to be harder for me than I can imagine.
That's the hardest part of the job. I hate that.
I don't like to see somebody's dream burst. But, like, the other day, a father called in, and he said, I'm having my 10-year-old audition, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay. She had a tape on YouTube. I listened to it. I said, she's terrible. She doesn't have it. She could develop. She's 10 years old. But don't put your kid through that. What are you doing?
I would love if people just phoned in like that. But the thing is that they're going to be standing in front of you. And they've made it to Vegas.
Right.
And their hopes and their dreams. And it's set up so that it's really tough. If for people who have watched the show, everybody shows up in Vegas and we tell you they're put into 3 groups.
Right.
One group... We tell you you're not even going to perform. You're going right to Hollywood. We're not going to Hollywood anymore. You're going to New York.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
To New York. Yeah.
You're going to New York. One group, we say, you are going to perform here.
Right.
And there's 48 spots. Okay, well, there's not 48. The people that went
you've got to essentially audition again.
That went to New York, you got to. There's 22 remaining spots. You got to go for the 22 remaining spots.
Right.
If the third group, if we can't find 22 in that third group,
there'll
be 5 remaining spots for this whole third group, and you can go.
We have real power.
Oh, you have no idea.
That third group must be.
What a fun thing, but a big responsibility in a sense.
It really is. People's, as much as it's fun and everything, people's lives and careers and futures are in our hands, and your words are like daggers.
Do you think when you were coming up, I mean, you've had a brilliant career. Do you think you would have done America's Got Talent? I don't think you would have gone that route.
I did. I started on a show called Make Me Laugh.
All right.
Which was basically judging, for every second that they didn't laugh,
right,
you won money.
Right.
And then the next show I did was on Showtime. It was called the Laugh-a-thon, and Jimmy Brogan hosted it.
And it's true.
It was
you
a
did.
Contest.
The way I became aware of you was the Merv Griffin show. That's where I got turned on.
I did 14 Merv Griffin shows.
Yeah, I got turned on to you through that.
Yeah.
So I guess you built your career on TV, but you've honed your act outside of television.
I'm still playing I do 200 live dates a year.
How do you work that into this schedule? Do you get off America's Got Talent and then go fly and do a date?
I will usually fly in and out and do a date. Yes.
So you're busy.
But you also have Mobbed.
And I do Mobbed.
Oh, we got to get to that. But finish this for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Howie, don't you think on America's Got Talent, and I even watched you with Piers, don't you think you promote your Twitter account too much?
No, here's the thing.
It feels desperate to me.
No, here's the thing.
You don't need to. I mean, you don't need to promote that.
I'll tell you why I'm promoting Twitter.
Go ahead.
At Howie M. Mandel.
Yeah, what is that? I mean, but why do you care?
You're on Twitter. I'll tell you why.
I'm on Twitter, but who gives a fuck?
And you're going to love it more than ever on this show. And I
hardly
I'm
tweet.
the one who told Piers Morgan about Twitter.
Right.
And even before you did that live tweeting when you were watching your movie, I did it 3 years ago.
Really?
I did. Well, that first.
Okay.
No. On the show, because I found this Twitter.
Okay.
Okay. And what was amazing during the live shows was people were going, I would read the tweets live.
Right, I remember.
And they were going, he's off key. Or they were going, we can't hear you. Or they're going, and I see like a barrage.
But I'm not going to sit there and listen.
I read
it. A big mistake is for us to react as an audience when we judge. And Simon said this. The biggest mistake you can make is react to what the audience is doing. If they're cheering and screaming and then you put them through. We have to tune out the audience, and the Twitter people you have to tune out. Who are they?
Well, here's what I do.
We're interested in your opinion.
At that point, when we're in the live show,
right.
I think that we're looking for somebody that is marketable to America. And even if I don't like the act, even if I'm not a fan of country music, I'm not really a fan of magic.
You will read the Twitter and say, okay, since they like it, I'll put them through. I think that's wrong.
No. It's not that easy. But I want to be informed.
Right.
I want to be informed by what's happening. And I have a and they got mad at me. The producers went, you better put that down.
Right.
NBC came out and said, stop that.
Yes.
And this past year,
right,
they told everybody, tweet and do it because they're getting another platform to promote.
Everyone's with social media.
Yeah.
But I think that it is our obligation to give our opinion, which you do.
I do.
And then fuck Twitter and everyone else, and this is it. We're the judges, and that's it.
But don't you want to know, I will say that, to a contestant, I don't get it.
Right.
But I got to tell you that you just lit up, and I don't go by the audience in the theater or in the studio.
No, we can't.
No, but there's 15, 20 million people listening at home, and if it's coming through, it's amazing how different something seems when you're there live versus how you watch it or how it.
Right.
And I'm interested in seeing how the audience is.
How many times during the season do we get to have sex with the good-looking girl contestants so that they can get put through to the next round? How often do you take advantage? Like, do you take advantage of that a lot?
It is encouraged.
Yeah.
But
right. You send out a vibe and you hope for the best.
Right.
Yeah. You must be. Do we have a lot of downtime?
No.
No, there's not a lot of downtime. You get in there and things start to happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. The 12-hour day is like a packed day. It's act after act after act. See, I'm a fan of, when I'm not working, I'll sit on YouTube. I watch TV. My TV's on 24/7. I don't sleep.
That's the problem. You're a little too into it. We can't spend all day there. Let's move along, get the opinion, and go on.
Well, we get the opinion, and we do move on. But I could see, I love great acts. I love bad acts. It's the best job.
It is fun. I tell you what. I said to Robin, I said, I got to get on one of these shows and be a judge. It's got to be the greatest fucking job ever.
And what I'm telling you, Howard, is don't stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. Just show up to the party.
I'm glad you said that, because originally...
What I wanted to ask, because one of the things about the judging, Piers would make up his mind pretty quickly.
Yes.
If he hated it.
Well, he wanted to get out of there to a CNN show.
And he'd hit the buzzer, and then he'd turn around and look at you two, and you would let him finish.
Yeah, I thought you were doing that to irritate him sometimes.
No.
No? Really?
No, because here's the thing. I do have empathy for anybody who's a performer. And, you know, I don't believe... And they only have 90 seconds.
Right.
So if you can't wait another 20 seconds, that doesn't mean that there aren't some people...
But the concept is to gong show them, in a sense, to buzz them if they're not good. Right.
And I have.
You've
it's not that I have hit the buzzer, but not as frequently as Piers did.
Did you hear the rumor that they were thinking of adding a fourth judge?
I did hear that rumor.
But I understand that
they're not.
Simon was pushing for that.
Yes.
Yeah, because did you think that might slow it down?
Well, although first of all, I don't really understand the concept, because just the odds of voting three
right. You need a tiebreaker.
How does I don't know how 4 would work.
Right.
Number one, number two, especially in the live show.
Right.
That's hard for me, because they'll say you got 20 seconds.
Right.
You got so you want to critique it, you want to tell them why you like it. And
right.
You always feel like, did what I say make sense?
It's funny. I was going to say to you before that, this concept of overthinking it. When they first approached me about doing this, I said, oh, okay. Now I got to come up with, I said to them, I need to see the acts ahead of time so I can do blah, blah. And they said, no, we're just interested in your opinion. Then I started thinking, oh, what's got to go on, what I'm going to do, and this and that. And I said, no, that gets in the way of the show. The secret, I believe, is that
spontaneity.
It's not the Howard Stern show. It's America's Got Talent. They're calling me in to be a judge, and I should just give them my opinion.
It was such
an
adjustment for me. The thing is, as somebody who's a performer and wants to be loved, when we're in Austin, Texas,
right,
and they say, ladies and gentlemen, 14-year-old Carolyn from Austin, Texas, the crowd there is going wild.
Right.
Carolyn can't sing a note, a fucking note. And I go, really? Singing is not really...
It's not for you.
It's not for you. And these 300 people or 3,000 people who's ever in the theater starts booing me. I mean, that was tough. And I have to say, you know what? But America's on board, I hope. I mean, it was really tough the first time.
I could imagine.
And they could hate. They turn on you. They're excited that you show up, and then they hate you.
Well, also, as a great performer as you are, I would imagine it's difficult sometimes not to shtick it up and not to say, okay, I'm going to do some comedy here, or now it's my turn to talk and I'm going to do this. That will ruin the whole idea of the show, right? I mean,
what I have found to be the best, and if I can give you any advice, is stop thinking.
Right.
There is no job in the history of show business
where you don't have to think.
This
is
nothing. There's no preparation. People like Jason Raff and all these people, they create a monster. They build it. They work. They've been working all year long. They're picking the acts that we're going to see.
I've spoken to Jason, Meredith R., Brandon Rigg, Paul Talegdi, and everyone said the same thing you're saying. They said, look, we just want your opinion, and that's it, and then move on. And that's what we're after. I said, well, I can do that. I'm certainly
opinionated. And I think if you overthink it, that'll show.
Right.
It'll look like prepared. I don't prepare material.
Right.
I don't prepare. It's just whatever comes out. And you know something? Your intellect and your honesty is what has gotten you to where you are.
And that's what people are interested in.
If you bring that to the show, and as long as you don't try to be something that you're not, or that you think you should be.
Is this your third season?
This is going to be my third season. I've done 2.
You've done 2 seasons. This is your third.
Yeah.
You think Sharon's excited about doing it?
I think that she's very excited. She's very excited about you. I think that this is going to be a little hard for her.
With the New York thing.
Because she has the talk, right? In Vegas.
Right.
In L.A.
Is she on board?
I assume she is.
Right.
So why are you asking? Have you heard something?
I don't know. I haven't had any contact with Sharon except she came in and did our show a couple of weeks ago.
That was before you had announced.
Yeah, she said she's on board, but I didn't know.
So she's on board.
So what is she going to do? How does she do the talk?
I don't know.
Yeah, I see.
She did not say she was on board when she was
didn't?
here.
What did she say?
She said that she was staying with L.A. and that, New York seemed to be a problem for her. She loves the show.
I think
and would love to
I don't
do
know
it.
that it's a problem for her as much as it might be a problem for CBS, right? Is that
isn't our show, America's Got Talent, way more important than that dopey talk show she does? Because we're a network show on at night that's a huge #1 hit.
Well,
if she's going to give up one show, give up that other stupid fucking show.
I don't think she's giving anything up, and I'm so busy that I haven't had any contact with her. I assume if she wasn't on board, we would have heard about it.
Right.
So I think it's the three of us.
Was there, I was reading about your relationship with Piers and Sharon, and one time there was an incident where you guys were on a plane.
Yeah.
Piers was asleep.
Yeah.
When he woke up, Sharon put her tits in his face, like bare tits in his face.
And
he was upset about that?
Because Nick was videotaping it.
Why would he be upset about
Nick
that?
Cannon videotaped it.
I'd love that.
I know, but
Put your tits in my face every fucking day. She's got great rack.
She does.
Why would he be upset about that?
I think because he's the anchor at CNN and he felt that wasn't the image he wanted to
project. Didn't Piers give up the wrong job, honestly? I thought Piers was terrific on the show. I've said that everywhere.
Yeah, I was. I was happier with him than he was with me.
Right, but CNN, I think he was happy with it. I think he liked the animosity, and it didn't feel real to me. Do you think it was real that he really didn't disliked you?
I think he disliked. I think he didn't get my way of judging. I think he didn't get my sense of humor, and I think that I do think it was real.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was real.
I took the test on the America's Got Talent website to see who you're most like as a judge, and I was convinced I would be most like Piers. I was most like you.
Really?
That's what it said.
Mine came up with. I took the test too, and mine came up like Brandy.
Really? That's frightening.
Yeah, remember she was the host.
Yes, of course. David Hasselhoff, Brandy. Regis used to be the host. Then it was Jerry Springer. I'm a big fan of the show. So I like you. I said, hey, I'm sitting at home doing this. I might as well go get paid to be the judge.
It's the best job.
I'm very honored that they chose me.
I know, but you seem very incredibly neurotic and worried.
No,
but that's just him.
I approach everything in a serious manner. I really do.
But
I take it seriously.
I'm glad that you're on board and you're taking it seriously. But I'm telling you, have fun, be yourself.
But look, the Hoff. Let's talk about it honestly. He didn't take it so seriously.
I think he did. I think he took it like he takes life. That's it. Like he takes his hamburgers and his children.
If it's not important to the judges. It's still, in terms of the world events and where we're going as a country and how our world is going, this is not the most important thing. But if the judges on this show don't take it seriously and really look for real talent, then the show's whole premise is out the window.
Here's where for me, where it goes wrong. If the judge is more concerned about how they're being perceived versus their honesty.
Has that happened? Was Piers, are you referring to Piers?
I'm not referring to anybody in particular, but I know that it's hard for some judges, even at a time when they believe that they should be negative, or they believe, and so I just learned, and I'm comfortable, and I've got 3 years in, and it'll take an adjustment for you.
Yeah, I think so.
It'll take an adjustment. Comfortable in being booed. I get booed like crazy in every hometown in the travel. But you're sitting, listen, when you show up someplace and 3,000 people from their hometown are there and they hate you because you haven't found any talent. There's mornings where we'll go through crap, and we haven't found anything, and we make comments like, what is happening in this town? It's a hard adjustment, but it's a great show.
Now, I like Nick Cannon on the show, Howie.
I love Nick Cannon.
I think he does a great job, and I told him that I was on his show, and I really do, but I am so worried about this guy. Today he'd announced first of all, his kidneys failed. Why did they fail? This guy doesn't want to be home. He works nonstop.
Did you know his schedule? It's like nuts.
It's nuts. Now he announced he's directing a movie.
No.
Where he's teaming up comedians. And who is he teaming them up with? Comedians and rappers or something. He's directing a movie.
When?
This is a guy who is not aware of his own health. He's definitely not a guy who wants to be home. Let's be honest, right? I mean, he's like a Jamaican. He's taking 50 jobs. And I said to him, I think you're key to the show. I want you there. Why don't you give up a couple of jobs?
Didn't the doctor tell him that?
Now he announced he's directing a movie.
Well, then that's
big mistake. It's stupid.
Maybe
we should do an intervention on this guy.
I think there should be an intervention.
I mean, what's he doing? They're telling me he takes a pillow and lays down on the floor between takes or something.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
He sleeps whenever he can get. I've never seen anybody, you know, they talk about Ryan Seacrest.
Right.
Ryan Seacrest is basically unemployed compared to Nick Cannon.
And Ryan's got a lot going on.
Yeah, he's got to be thrilled, Nick, that you're on board, because New York, he was taking the plane flights. He was always flying with me. I was always...
It was crazy. His radio show starts at 6 in the morning, which means he was in L.A. starting the show at 3 in the morning.
Right.
Finishing at 7.
Right.
Then he drives to the set of America's Got Talent because his call time is earlier because he's the host.
Right.
And he literally would go from 7 in the morning till about midnight.
And at America's Got Talent, in downtime, he would take meetings because he's an executive at Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so how is this guy alive?
Well, one of his kidneys quit and left.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I can't take this anymore.
Completely understandable that his kidneys failed.
Have you ever called him aside and said, listen, I care about you. Why don't you fucking calm down? I mean, you don't have to have every job. You've never done that.
I've never done that.
You don't feel comfortable with that?
No. I told you, I show up, I don't care. I do.
Did you get
I don't give any thought.
Did you get the invite, as I did, for the special dinner that we're having the night before?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
not Jimmy. No, not Jimmy's.
Oh.
We're having an America's Got Talent dinner.
Did I get the invite?
Yeah, well, I saw your name on it.
Oh,
they put your email address on there. And
did they really?
Yeah, I was like, well, they shouldn't be sending that to everybody.
I didn't get it. Yeah, because you're hard to get a hold of. You know you're hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, well, why can't you get a hold of me?
Because you screen your calls and you didn't want to talk to me.
No, bullshit.
It is not bullshit.
It's a service that forwards my call to me wherever I am. I wasn't at the phone.
Can I?
Of course I want to talk to you.
No, you didn't. You wanted to hold it. You wanted to hold it till we were on air.
No, bullshit.
Because I called Gary. Gary told me that you're supposed to call the Spanish Fly, and then I called that. I called that number.
You never called.
They go and then it says in the space, leave your name, and I go Howie.
Right.
Mandel. And then they go, we are looking for him.
Right.
And then it goes away.
I wasn't there.
Wait. So they go, he's not there. Would you like to leave a message? Well, I don't know who Spanish Fly is, so I'm not going to leave a message and a phone number on there. No, I didn't hear your voice. So I don't know.
It says Howard.
Wait. So then they say he's not there. Will you leave a message? I go, no. Call back 2 hours later.
Okay.
Same thing. Howie. Now, your phone rings somewhere, and then you weren't there.
It rings. I'm not there. Sometimes I'm not home. But I'll answer my message.
3 times. I didn't leave a message.
Well,
so
he
you hear Howie's
message.
on the phone. I don't want to talk to him now, and that's okay.
He doesn't leave a message.
I won't
Gary
leave
said,
messages.
did Howie call you? I said, no, he never called me.
And it doesn't give
I
him
will
any
not.
information?
How would I know?
I won't leave a phone number on a robotic
but Howie,
thing. I don't know who
How
gets
would
this.
I know you called?
Because I left my name. It goes to your phone.
No, if you don't leave a message, it doesn't go anywhere.
And then I checked it. I heard Gary talking about it. I heard you talking about I didn't call you. You were waiting for my call. And I called Gary during the show that day, and I said, check this number. He told me that was the number. You do hear it. Your phone rings.
I didn't get you. I mean it. Howie, I love you. Why wouldn't I want to talk to you?
I don't know.
Why don't you try I'm busy, not I'm not at home? They're cell phones now.
Yeah.
But doesn't this thing search all your phones and wherever you are?
It forwards it to wherever I tell it to go.
Right.
But I wasn't obviously in by my phone. It goes to my home.
A whole day?
No, I don't know. I never got a call from you. I never got a call from you.
Why don't you switch it when you go somewhere?
I do, but I might have been out running. I might have been. Sometimes I do stuff. You know what I mean?
And then you said, and then you wrote me an email.
Yes.
And you said, I'll call you.
And I never called you.
Right.
Well, I didn't want to bother you. You were calling me. I wasn't looking for you.
Well, then you didn't tell me to call you.
But actually, this is probably the conversation we would have had on the phone, right? I mean,
So you want to save it for radio?
No, it just worked out that way. I mean, what would we say in private about this?
How do you know what I wanted to call you about?
I assume you wanted to call me about America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had it.
Did you have something private you wanted to say to me?
Never mind.
I'm excited. I'm
excited to be working with you.
How's the OCD?
It's not good.
It's bad? Worse than ever?
A little bit. You know, I'm doing this show, which makes it hard for me.
Which show? The Mobbed.
Which will you watch it tonight? I know you're on Letterman.
Now, this is your second season.
No, it's really the first season. We did a special.
Right.
That's the one I promoted.
Tell people what Mobbed is again, in case they don't know.
Mobbed is you know what flash mobs are?
Right.
And there's the spontaneous outbursts of singers and dancers in malls and train stations.
You go on Twitter and everyone decides to go do the Michael Jackson dance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I thought, okay, so that's kind of neat. And that was, 5 years ago they were doing that. And then I love hidden camera. And I thought, if you have a secret, an intimate secret that you want to share with somebody, What better way to do it than to take that person to a public place and they hear it in a musical? And the first one we did was a proposal, but what if you want to quit a job? What if you want to tell your wife that, you know that she's cheating?
Right.
Wouldn't it be great to hear that in a giant musical?
That's on tonight, the show?
Tonight is one. It's a really good one. I don't want to give away what it is, but the guy, they don't always
like
work
if I'm
out
fucking
great.
a guy's sister, I could get you to do a flash mob. And hey, guess what? Howard's fucking your sister.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
But on tonight's show, we have, and it's right after Idol, on tonight's show, it didn't work out the way we thought, because what happened is we always have this hidden camera thing, and it was this young guy, and as the dance breaks out, the music starts, and we did kind of a, what, Smooth Criminal, that video?
Michael
so
Jackson.
the door opens, and we had this backlight, and these dancers come in, and they got chains, and they're backlit, and they're smoking everything. The guy thought he was going to die. He thought, I don't know what he thought, some sort of dancing gang was after him, and he starts going, leave me the fuck alone. What the fuck is this? I'm getting out of here. Don't you fucking touch me. You can
I would do that, too.
It's me. And they're going, just calm down, just watch. And they go, no fucking way, get me the fuck out of here. And you see me going, lock the door. We thought the whole thing, we had 2,000 people waiting there.
Do you have an episode where there's a pedophile and then announce it on the air or something like that?
Chris Hansen comes out dancing.
Like I would like to see that. So with the OCD now.
Yes.
I didn't know this part. You never told me. When you were a kid, when you were like a teenager, you'd come home from school and shower for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's unfucking believable. You've been tortured by this your whole life.
Yes.
I mean, imagine in high school. Who showers in high school?
No.
I showered once a week in high school.
Right. Boys are usually notorious for not showering.
That's right. Go ahead. Hands, Bill. You're on with Howie Mandel. Watch Howie Mandel host Mob, premiering tonight at 9 o'clock on Fox. After American Idol.
That's a good spot.
That's a great spot.
Hey, Howie.
Will you watch it tonight? I want you to see it.
I will watch it.
And I'll watch you on Letterman.
Thank you.
Hey, Howie, how are you doing, brother?
All right.
I'm doing okay. Oh, right.
But how are we going to deal with that, too? I'm Howard.
Question.
What are the odds of two Howards being on
a same show?
You know what I call it now? There's two Howards and an Osborne. It's H2O.
Oh, very good. Look at you.
I'm always marketing.
See, that's why.
Marketing.
That's why you're a genius.
Okay.
Ham Hands, go ahead.
Hey, Howie, listen, with your OCD and your germophobia, if your wife just comes out of the bathroom or washed up a private parts, are you still able to kiss her private parts or not?
Yeah, Howie,
yes.
with OCD, are you able to go down on your wife?
Yes.
That's a good question, actually, Ham.
As long
Is that really true? Do you sit there and go, oh, fuck,
no.
I'm going to get germs?
No, I won't. I don't believe it. No, I'm telling you. Why would I lie?
You'd probably prefer not to go down. Wouldn't you prefer just to fuck and not have to have
like
any
a plastic
saliva exchange or anything like that?
I don't mind that. It's shaking hands. It's hands.
But why do you think your wife is like you? A woman's vagina probably has more germs,
really,
than a hand's.
When is the last time you've looked at a vagina and seen it cough?
Well, I don't know. I heard you were freaked out in the hallway because Ronnie, the limo driver, was coughing.
Ronnie coughed.
I know.
But then he goes. There's not a sound. I'm just standing quietly in the hall.
Yeah.
And then I hear like that. And I go, are you sick?
And he claims he's not sick.
Wait. I go, are you sick? He goes, no, it's just my voice. Your voice? You weren't talking.
It'll be about 3 feet too long.
But they, did he just cough?
Yes, he did.
Are you sick, Ronnie?
He's not sick. He's run down because he was traveling a lot.
He's not sick. What? Voice.
He lost his voice.
Wait, you coughed in silence. It's not like, what kind of voice?
Silence.
There was
just my voice.
No, there was no sound, and then you coughed.
I went like this.
Right. That's not your voice. When you're talking to me...
Understood.
Not understood, apparently.
Run down, he's sick.
Yeah. Been a lot of traveling, man. I've been out on the West Coast a lot, back and forth, so...
People travel, they bring back the bird flu.
What can I do?
You could stay back from it.
I had to do it.
He's been doing these live club dates where he goes out and screams. And so he's losing his voice. But
I'm on tour. I do dates all the time.
Yeah, well, you talk like a normal person.
Yeah, you don't scream like he does.
His act is going up there and screaming and yelling out obscenities.
Really?
That's the whole act.
I saw him.
You'd probably put him through on America's Got Talent.
I saw him at the UFC fight, and he told me he's got a deal with Fox.
He had his own talk show,
but he's not allowed to say.
I don't know.
What kind of marketing plan is that? I can't talk about it yet.
I don't know.
I can't talk. It's got a bigger veil than your announcement for America's Got Talent.
One of the questions that came up in this meeting with NBC is like they said to me, well, how much promotion are you willing to do? How much were you willing to do on your own, and how much are you willing to do with the other judges? I said, I would be thrilled to appear with Howie.
Why do they send him
there's
in?
Ronnie. Why'd they send you in if you're sick? Howie's going to freak out.
Come on, man.
What? What do you want to say? I'm in the middle of
There's nothing wrong with me.
No, you're sick. You were coughing even in the car this morning. And I'm germophobic, and I was freaking out.
Hello. You were sick for 2 weeks? Yeah. I wasn't, okay?
No, but what does that got to do with anything?
I'm saying, no, I'm telling you, I am fine except for my throat.
So much
I'm fine except for my throat.
My throat is dry. I told you.
I just got a touch of the strep.
Yeah,
all right, listen, I'll leave you back to your interview.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
For Howard TV, you're going to love it. It was such a great moment. Ronnie's like standing against the hallway, probably like 6 feet away from Howie, and he coughs, and he tried to make it like cough into his shoulder, and Howie just starts like moonwalking.
Yeah, right. Is the worst part of America's Got Talent when at the beginning you have to run through the audience? Why don't we do away with that? I don't want that either.
Well, you know what? You got them to move to New York.
Right.
You've got all these changes. Can I put that on you? If there's one thing, I love the job. I don't mind the hours.
Everybody high fives and this and that.
Oh my goodness! You have to high five?
I don't.
He doesn't. He does a little fist bump.
Right. And I run, but these hands, it's just a sea of. It's like the worst fucking nightmare. The opening of America's Got Talent.
It's the only show out of all of them, like X Factor, American Idol, blah blah blah, where the judges run through the audience.
Maybe they'll make a change. They've made a change. They've changed coasts, so maybe they'll make a change. I don't want to touch I love the audience.
Right.
I just don't want to touch you.
You love them to a degree.
Yes. I don't want to touch their hands.
Why don't we wear hazmat suits as we walk in? Literally, like a spacesuit, like we're landing on the moon, and then
I came in last year. I came in a bubble. I
remember.
Yes.
I felt for you because I know it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. I hate that. I really am. I'm not going to lie.
See, I'm not as bad as you. I would be able to walk through the audience, shake everyone's hand, and then when I get to my table, discreetly put some of that Purell on my hands.
Yeah, but I can't use the Purell anymore.
Why? Because you've hurt your hands.
No, I told you. I've told this story before. I overused it,
and you get rashes.
And I got warts because I had viruses because I killed all the antibodies in my hands.
Oh, so you can't use Purell anymore?
No, I don't know I had my friend who's a surgeon give me that. I was using Purell. I was using whatever they use for surgery.
Oh, betadine.
No, betadine is. I don't know what I was using, but whatever they scrub.
Do you sometimes forget and shake someone's hand like I do, and then all of a sudden I go, oh, now I got to.
I never forget.
You never forget.
No.
When somebody puts out the hand, what do? You offer them the fist bump?
The fist or nothing, or I turn and walk away.
You turn. It's so terrible. I mean, you are a social guy, and look what you're going through.
I'm not as social as you think.
Oh, really?
I'm not. I'm not really that social. I love people. I'm a mess.
You just coughed into your hand, so I was very aware of that. Yeah, don't come near me.
But I won't shake my hand now.
What's going on with Deal or No Deal? Is that gone?
Yeah, there's a slight talk of doing more, but I don't know.
What does that mean, slight talk of doing more? I thought the show was a huge hit.
Well, it had become a daytime show.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Well, we did 500 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I was dealed out for a while.
Do you think that's what happened? The show just burnt out? They put it on too much?
I think so. We're on a hiatus, and there's always a possibility that there could be more. Look, Fear Factor is back.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, it was.
That was a good gig too.
It was a really good gig.
You've gotten some great gigs.
All my single friends missed the fact that I was on Deal or No Deal. My son misses.
Yeah, right.
Deal or No Deal.
All those hot chicks.
I had my son working. I don't know if I told you this. One summer, I got him a job as an intern on the show.
Yeah.
And they came to me very uncomfortably, and they said, Howie, can you talk to your son? I go, why? They go, he has set up his office under the steps. He was under, the girls came down to the
Oh, my God. So he's looking up their skirts.
He was looking up their skirts. And I
like
said
his
to
old man.
Alex, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But, and I had to talk to him. And then he goes, I was there first. And then they came down. I go, you were there. You weren't there first. They were there first.
Do you realize I think I'm the first American judge?
Yes.
On America's Got Talent.
I'm American.
You are now?
Yeah.
Weren't you? You were born Canadian, right?
I have a dual citizenship.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, so you are American.
Well, I became.
All right, good. All right, because I like.
But you were the first born and raised
in America.
Right.
Yes.
I have a huge burden on my shoulders.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to work with you.
I can't tell you how excited, how great I think it is for the show, and I think that your presence is going to take the show to another level. I really
hope
believe
so.
that.
I think it'll be fun.
I believe it, and I love all the controversy, and I love that wherever I go, people, that's the burning question.
Well, I was bringing this up before because I did a Super Bowl commercial for America's Got Talent.
Did you really? Yes. Oh, that's great.
I shot one.
Okay.
And I assume it's going to air this Super Bowl.
Right.
We'll see.
What?
Seemed funny to me. But, you know, I'll believe it when I see it.
It could be rejected?
Who knows? But they said to me, I said, I'd like to do some promotion with the other judges. And so there was a discussion on how much promotion I would do.
Right.
And when I would appear with the other judges. So at some point, I guess we'll be appearing somewhere together.
That would be great.
Right. And you and I have a problem because we're going to have to be quiet while the other one performs, even in an interview, right? That's a difficult thing to do, isn't it? Do you find that difficult?
I've gotten more comfortable in you know,
we're an
you're
ensemble.
coming up. Right, and you see, you're coming from the autonomy of doing this show, and this is what you've done all your life. And I came from stand-up comedy and whatever. So it was really hard for me. It was a huge adjustment.
Because even when you did Deal or No Deal, you were the host. This is, like, I've got to sit quiet while you're doing your thing, and I got to let you do your thing.
Yeah. So the thing...
I don't know that I can do that.
But that's what I'm telling you, as somebody who went through the adjustment.
Right.
Don't worry.
We'll get through it together.
Don't think about it. Just do whatever. You know what? If the fact that you want to interrupt me in the middle of me talking hits you, interrupt me.
All right.
Don't think about, you know what? I'm going to interrupt him, or I'm going to sit quiet. Whatever happens, happens.
Now, you never finish that. Who's going to be... What are you going to be called on this show?
Well, I'm Howard.
You're Howard.
Or Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
The king of all media.
I'm Howie.
Okay.
He's Howie. Thank God he's a Howie.
Yeah.
No one called... In summer camp, I used to be a Howie.
Right.
And when I got on the radio, I said, fuck being a Howie. I'm a grown man. I'm Howard.
We've talked about it. Howard, for me, is it makes me cringe because Howard was always in trouble.
Yeah, so I'll be Howard. You'll be Howie.
Howard?
Yes.
Nobody was happy when they called me Howard?
Yes, that's true. So... You'll be Howie. I'm Howard. We got Sharon.
And we got Sharon.
And we got Nick. And that's it. Let's go do this thing.
This is going to be great.
Enough fucking talk about it.
And what are you doing tonight?
Tonight I am watching myself on Letterman, of course.
That's after. I'm going to watch you.
Watch Howie Mandel host Mobbed, premiering in what is probably the best time slot, right after American Idol.
And it's something to see. You see a guy think he's going to die, and there's nothing funnier than that.
Nothing funnier than guys dying.
And I tweet live. You think that's not a good thing to tweet live?
You will tweet during the show.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
I'll Twitter you.
I'm not going to read that.
No, I want you to say you're watching it. I want to just see that you're really watching it.
What is with you and Twitter? You're obsessed.
I am
Forget
obsessed.
it. Forget that.
You're not. You're on it.
I'm on it, but I'm on it once or twice.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we get a
naked picture of
your
my wife. That's it. I don't know what else to tweet. What would I tweet? Anything I got to say, I say here. I have this. So why would I? What am I tweeting?
So you're pointing out I have nothing. All I have is Twitter.
It's too important. How many followers do you have?
I have over 16. No, I have 300,000. Not this.
300,000. Yeah,
not a lot.
Do you see it as a sign of success if you have a ton of Twitter followers?
No, but I see it as a sign of, that's my social, I'd like to do that rather than in a crowd. I don't have to touch people, but I could talk to you.
It's your way
I can communicate.
And you can sell tickets to your shows and things like that.
Well, I'm not selling tickets. Well, I want to get viewers.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, listen, you're a judge, I'm a judge. God bless you.
I'll see you.
I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. A week.
Is it a week?
It's a week or two, yeah.
It's this month.
Sometime this month I'm going to see you.
You excited?
I'm excited about doing it. No, I think I'm fine with it.
I think you are fine. I listen to you every day. Don't worry.
I worry about just keeping my health together. In other words, I don't want to be sick when I go there. I don't want to. I want to have my energy together because this job that I do, waking up
two neurotic
early,
guys are telling each other not to worry.
You worry.
Don't worry. I'm the guy who won't touch anybody.
How
don't
dare
worry.
you tell me not to worry?
Don't worry.
Look who I'm getting advice from.
And he's worried that he's going to get sick.
Now you know why I don't take Howie's calls. I'll listen to him. I'll get nuts.
I live in a glass house.
That's right. Yes. And you know what people in glass houses should do?
Throw stones?
That's right.
Right.
What do you do today? I saw you're hosting Regis
I'm with
and
Kelly. I'm going over there now.
Are you the co-host?
Yes.
You'll be the co-host with Kelly Ripa.
Yes. And J-Lo.
Is it true? And J-Lo is the guest?
Yes.
Oh, that should be hot.
That will be very hot.
And so...
I heard she lost 60 pounds.
Who?
Oh, J-Lo?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How's that?
Mark Anthony moved out.
Oh, you're terrible.
You going to ask her about this young boyfriend that she's got?
Oh, I should, shouldn't I?
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, can't this girl be alone for 10 minutes? I mean, literally, she just broke... This is like her third marriage ended.
Wait.
What?
When your marriage ended, how long were you alone?
Oh, a minute, but I'm a guy. Women are supposed to think about things.
Really?
Of course. Well, first of all, this is her third marriage that ended.
Right.
She just had kids with this dude.
Right.
He's out. Now she's got a brand new boyfriend. Slow down a little bit. At least date a little bit.
Why are you so concerned about... She's
I'm a
happy.
judge. I'm judging her.
You're judging.
I judge everything. I'm perfect for that gig.
She's happy. God bless her.
God bless her.
Yeah.
Slow down and smell the roses, honey.
I wonder if he'll come over to the show with her. Oh, he probably has homework.
Yeah, exactly. Will you ask her stuff like, like how long did it take the new guy to get into your pants and stuff, or is that too controversial for the Regis and Kelly show?
I don't know. I will, whatever. I'm not thinking about it. Whatever happens, happens.
You didn't prepare for this show at all?
I don't prepare.
You don't prepare ever?
No.
God bless you.
I don't prepare. I never did homework. I didn't. Preparation is not my.
Like I'm going to Letterman tonight. I already know exactly how it's going to look.
When I do talk shows, I prepare.
You do prepare. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Yes, but as the host, I don't prepare.
It's a good philosophy. It seems to be working.
Yeah, as a guest, he prepares.
I do as a guest because I want to be charming and I want to be witty and I want to be funny. Though I didn't prepare for this.
They say that the ratings for Kelly Ripa are higher now that Regis is gone.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think it is, and I think that it's because of that. When Kathy Lee left, when they were rotating all the possible co-hosts, and Kelly was going, the ratings were also higher because people want to see. It's like this spinning wheel.
Right.
Oh, is this going to be the host? Is this going to be the host?
Have they asked you to be a permanent host?
No.
You're good at it.
I am. I'm very good.
I mean, I've seen people on there with her that are not too good. They think they're funny and they're not. But you do a good job. And they said in the paper that they're closer to finding a permanent replacement for Regis. So I was wondering if they had said anything to you.
Well, I would imagine as each day goes by, they're closer. Because one day they're going to choose. So tomorrow they're going to be closer than they are today.
But it could be that they're so into this groove of rotating hosts that they are never going to get a co-host.
I think they should keep doing that. Don't you think that would be a good show? That they can continue to do that?
Do you like doing that show, the morning show, and being the co-host?
Yes. I think that Kelly is brilliantly funny.
Do you find yourself biting your tongue, though, because it's so... Yes. In other words, the things you really want to talk about, you can't.
No.
Right.
I can't. You know that.
That's the secret to success, biting your tongue on some of these shows.
I wonder if you're going to bite your tongue at all on America's Got Talent.
Well, of course. I mean, listen, first of all, I have to bite my tongue, or else I'll end up taking over the show and turning it into the Howard Stern show. Like you said, you resist turning it into the Howie Mandel show. I've got to be able to do that. And secondly, I got to be able to realize that it's a network show that's kid-friendly, and it's about me being a judge.
But that's what I say. I don't know, you may have seen some of the interviews that I've done about you joining the show.
Yes, you've been great.
You have been nothing but a very responsible broadcaster. I mean, the language and whatever happens on Sirius is different than what happened on terrestrial radio, right?
Listen, I'm going on Letterman
And you went
tonight.
on I've seen you on Letterman dozens of times, and Leno, you've never crossed the line beyond standards and practices.
Yeah, and if I have, whoops. All right, listen. Watch Howie. I've been such a responsible broadcaster. Thank you, Howie.
I think you have.
Go watch some of my old shows. Watch Howie Mandel host Mobbed, premiering tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight is the big night, 9 o'clock on Fox after American Idol.
Yeah, and next Wednesday, too.
And Howie's a great guy, always been a friend of the show.
Our co-workers.
Now we're co-workers.
Isn't that amazing?
Colleagues.
Robin, tell Howie what a delight I am to work with. He's in for a real treat.
You're in for the time of your life.
Tell him how much fun I am. Tell him how fun I am.
His partner in crime who is hermetically sealed in another room.
Well, what's funny is that, you talk about trying to reach me on the phone. Robin and I spend very little time communicating outside of the show.
Right, because you spend 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, we see each other all day, and she's got a life and I got a life.
But a call back would have been nice.
Yes, Robin. Do we ever call each other back? Never.
No,
never.
You leave a message and you let it go.
And you let it go. Listen, Howie, stop calling me and harassing me.
I'm here with Mike Marks. He runs my company, and he's a fan. Wait. He's a huge fan, and he wanted to know if he can get a picture of you. Now, this is, but not, he doesn't have a camera. He does sketch artist. He's a sketch artist.
He wants to
sketch us?
He wants to. Can he come in for like 10 minutes and just sketch you?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what he does.
I don't mind. Go ahead.
That's what he does.
See, you don't get under my skin like with Piers. You amuse me.
So Mike Marks can come in and just draw you?
Sure, absolutely. For a good hour. All right, Howie.
Yes.
Calm down.
All right.
Everything will be fine. And stop worrying. That's my advice to you. Okay. Howie Mandel.
You're going to teach him what worry is, I think.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
Worry.
No.
Oh, you're going to learn new neuroses
Wait
from
till
me.
you're around me. You know, it's not good for two OCD people to be together.
Really?
You will be out neurotic by me. No. You've never met anyone like me.
I can't wait. This is going to be the season of all seasons. This is the television explosion of the century, of the decade.
Can't wait.
I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Howie, in classic Howard fashion, he's overanalyzing something before it even starts.
Right.
Your best advice to him is to just...
any job I've ever had, and anything that I've ever done in show business, and I've been in show business for 35 years, it's the only job that there's no skill involved, there's no planning involved. You can be an idiot. Just be honest. You know, and that's all. That's the only advice I have. Just do it. I think that's Nike's advice. but don't think about it.
And in turn, the great off-the-cuff impromptu moments will happen.
He's a witty, smart, intelligent man who you know, has an opinion, and if he's just brutally honest and doesn't think about it, he'll enjoy it, and we'll have the best results we can ever imagine.
Basically, he should follow the same template that he does for his own radio show. I mean,
No, I believe on his radio show he does a lot of preparation and knows where he's going.
Right,
you
but
know?
from the honesty and that standpoint.
Yes.
All right, Howie, good luck.
See you later. All right, Lisa.
Talk to him.
See you in a minute.
Yeah, see you, Roddy.
Wonder if Howie's going to have a cold now.
Oh, stop it.
There was a lot of confrontation yesterday on the wrap-up show. I don't know how many people heard it, but I did, and man, oh man, a lot of fireworks.
What's going on? Why is everybody fighting around here?
It's mostly about Benji. I received in the email a lot of letters about people who just don't want to hear about Benji at all. Like on the wrap-up show, on this show, one guy said he's going to cancel his subscription if there's any more Benji talk.
Oh, dear.
And I thought, actually, I had limited the Benji talk, but the wrap-up show picks up where we leave off.
Right. What we don't pick up on, they discuss.
Yeah. And a lot was made that Lisa G is consumed with Benji and the girlfriend, and that the girlfriend is using Benji. But I think, you know, she's just weighing in with her opinion, much like everyone else.
You don't think she's obsessed with Benji and are jealous?
But someone told me that literally in the newsroom, she talks about it 24 hours a day. That I didn't know.
Oh.
That I didn't know. That she is obsessed with Benji and Elisa, his girlfriend. And that she talks about Benji and Elisa constantly, to the point that some people put on their headphones so they don't have to hear Lisa talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she'll talk to herself about it if nobody's listening.
Yeah. They say she's obsessed, but, you know, from what I heard, she's just someone like me who weighs in about the people who work here. Benji's in a relationship where I thought Lisa actually made a lot of sense on the wrap-up show, and I thought she gave Benji some good advice. I'll play you a clip, and you tell me if you think she's dead on. I do. And she basically says, well, here, I'll play it for you.
I'm not mad at you. Like I said, it feels tacky to me, and that's upsetting to me because I like you and I know who you are, and we had a private talk about it.
Yeah,
and
you said you said very, very mean stuff publicly about my girlfriend. I thought you were being very, very...
What did she say that was mean?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Well, I think the comment was in one of my pieces.
John will repeat it.
Lisa called Lisa's career a non-career.
No, I said...
referring to her musical ability.
No, I said Benji's trying to be a hero to a non-career. That's what I said.
Lisa's memorized the line.
So
Because
that
I
was
know
that was
hurtful,
a strike.
and I apologized.
No, you never did. Actually, you said I'm sorry. You kept saying I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings.
Didn't you
never
also
said apologize for saying it? I think you said it. I don't know what your rage is about it. What your upsetness is about
She's
it.
not a rage.
You haven't heard what everyone has been saying here. That
so why do you?
Well,
Why,
what
so
other,
why are you?
Look,
why are you
if
giving,
she's that talented, she'll be fine on her own. She's getting noticed. You can take a breath about it, Benji.
Okay, what if
I feel like you're in this like trance about. Oh my God, I have to get her a career, a recording contract. It will happen.
Enjoy being part of
she's
this.
being meant. Yeah, but it just feels like too much.
Well, it doesn't feel organic, that's for sure. It does not feel to anything. It feels very manufactured.
It was almost like an intervention yesterday on the air because what Lisa says is true. I mean, Benji is obsessed with getting his girlfriend noticed to the point that I think Benji thinks this is his cachet with her.
Yes.
That as long as he keeps her career going, she'll remain interested in him. And if Benji was honest, and I could actually talk to him about it, which I won't even attempt, I believe that he would relax a lot more if he stopped all this and finds out whether she loves him for him.
Dude, you are being so...
I think Lisa made a good point. Honestly, pal.
What's the point?
The point is...
Let me ask you a
what
favor.
you just asked me.
No, let me ask you a favor, because what you guys do, you put things so generally where you can't...
I'll be specific.
Be as specific as possible.
It seems to me you're devoting a tremendous amount of your personal energy to promoting Elisa's career. And even on the air, where you were one of those guys I sort of admired, you never really like plugged everything to death. And, you've had your little plugs and things with that party planning thing or whatever it is. I don't know, stripper parties or I don't know what you had, but everybody plugs. It seems like you've amped up a lot. And it seems like a lot of pressure on you to keep her in the limelight and to keep her career somewhat going. Like, that's your cachet with her. She, like, I could even hear, like, the brother on the news saying you're a great... And then you have her brother on the radio, and you have her parents on the radio. And the news department covered it. But I feel like that's your being a hero. That's what's important to her, and you're coming through in spades, and it's keeping her interested in you.
Okay, so...
I think you're feeling a lot of pressure.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
Her brother...
Well, I thought Lisa made a good point.
Her brother and her family came to our show on Monday night, and the news interviewed them.
Yes, and I think that's the type of energy you want to keep coming her way. It's very important.
Okay, but there's two different issues. You're saying, one, I'm trying to do this energy, and two, I'm doing it because I'm scared I would lose her if I didn't.
I think you think that's your... this is a girl who wasn't that attracted to you or into you. And ever since, you've been running around on TV trying to get her name mentioned. I mean, you were the guy who got beaten up by a CNN guy just trying to yell out her name. You work for the Howard Stern Show. Probably you could have yelled out something related to the Howard Stern Show. Instead, you're screaming out on CNN and risking your life to yell out Elisa Jordana.
I've gotten beaten up for you.
No, I know that.
For you again.
But I'm just saying, it's a lot of pressure to come through and be Superman for her. And I think you ought to chill and find out if she really could handle not getting that.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. It seems to me she probably does love you and probably will be able to handle it, but I think you're afraid to let go of this.
That's not, but that's not true.
Okay.
And you're just,
all
it's
right.
just an assumption you're making.
I'm making an assumption. You're right.
And the things
And I thought Lisa was right on the money, and I thought she was coming from an honest place. Whether or not she's obsessed with you, I don't know what goes on back in the newsroom. She might very well be. But...
what I was saying to her was, let's say all this is true. I don't know why she's treating my girlfriend like crap.
Right. No, that doesn't make sense. And Gary, I thought, was right on target with you. Howie's coming in here today, who's going to be on America's Got Talent with me, and I'm going to even say to him, I've noticed in season 2 that Howie spent a lot of time promoting his personal Twitter account. And then I watched him on Piers Morgan a little bit yesterday, and he said beautiful things about me, and I love Howie, and I'm anxious to work with him. But he really is hell-bent on constantly announcing his Twitter account. And I'm going to suggest to him that this year on America's Got Talent, he doesn't do that. It becomes annoying to the audience.
I don't have carte blanche.
And it looks desperate.
I don't have carte blanche on this show at all. I don't have a zero.
Any blanche.
Any blanche at all.
Right.
Anything.
No, whenever you get a chance,
anything
it seems
I bring
like it's
up, it's something you're asking me about.
But it's uppermost on your mind, as Gary pointed out, to get the
now
plugs
you're
in.
Reading my mind.
Well, here, I'll play you what Gary said. And I thought Gary was pretty much on the money here.
I feel like you're becoming like Jackie, like you're crowbarring in plugs, and I feel like it's become about plugging everything that you do. You don't reel it in at all, and it's getting tedious. And I almost feel like Howard's the sleeping tiger, and you're poking him. One day he's going to get up and it's just going to go, enough of this shit already. And I'm not sure what the end game is. Like if it was for something, like, is this song really super important to you? Like super important on a level that you're going to go all in with your plugs, because you can't plug like this forever.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know how to fight that. You feel that
not
way.
A fight.
No, I mean, I don't know how to argue that. What's the question? Is this song the most important thing in my life?
In other words, I feel like I feel like you're taking whatever you put in the bank as far as goodwill on how much you could plug something, and you're putting it all in on this particular project.
I think a lot of things that you guys think I do to seek attention on the show, I'm not. I'm just being myself.
But my question is, are you answer what I just said? Everybody, we all know that
You're saying your question is, do you still beat your wife? Kind of question.
And that wasn't what I said.
No, it's that kind of question that it presumes.
It's not.
It presumes some guilt.
No, it doesn't. I'm saying that you're taking all the goodwill you built up and you plug day and night. That's not bullshit. That's a fact.
No, but I don't think I do, Gary. I plug day and I do plugs on the show that we're given the opportunity to do.
You bring it up whenever you can, and you do whatever you can. Wait a second, and you do whatever you can to draw attention to having people talk. It's not an interpretation. It's a fact.
Are you talking about the writing on the hands, Gary?
At least, and you were very not truthful today. You did say to me off the air yesterday, I thought about taking you off, and I thought, why should I do that?
I thought about that, the fact, like, I did it for a purpose of that. Hey, this is something, like, when I want to look at it, I can look at it and it'll help me learn the lyrics. And then right before I got in work yesterday, I was like, fuck, you know what? They're going to give me shit they're going to say, because they always think I'm doing shit for attention.
Right.
And I'm like, because they think that, maybe I should wash it, even though that wasn't the reason I put it on there. But I said, fuck that. It's something I would do for a purpose, not for the attention. I'm not going to just change things so they don't think I'm seeking attention. That's what I said. And I think that you took part of that, but you didn't take the full thing.
Well, I think you said, I thought of their feelings, and I thought of my feelings, and my feelings were way more important than what their feelings are. That's what I'm hearing.
No.
But that's what you're saying.
I'm saying that you would have listened to me clearly.
I heard you. Okay. I heard everything you said.
You thought I did it for a certain purpose. I said, that's not the purpose I did it. But it hit me before I got here that you would think that. But I said, you know what? What I'm doing is not a bad thing, and I did it for another purpose. I'm not going to change it because...
I'll give you that you did it for whatever purpose you want. Say you didn't do it for the purpose of getting on the air. I'll give you that. But you realized that it was going to be a distraction, and you said distraction...
How is it a distraction?
Well, Benji, don't be fucking stupid. Don't that bullshit about... Of course it's a distraction. Everybody fucking noticed it and handed Howard a note. It's weird. You're fucking writing on your hands. It's odd, and everybody noticed it. Don't act like it's not weird or a distraction.
I don't think it's that weird or that much of a distraction.
It is a distraction because you hand me notes and things. I'm looking at your hands on that little machine there.
And in all the years he's been here, he's never written anything on his hand.
No, but for Elisa Jordana, he's putting stuff on his hands.
You saw notes on my hand through this machine.
Yeah, I did. When you put all of a sudden I went, oh, wow, what's that? I thought it was weird, and then I went, oh, it's Benji's hand.
You really noticed it that way?
Yeah, I did. I noticed it. I'd forgotten. Someone had said to me, Benji is writing on his hand. I said, I'm just not going to deal with it. And then about 2 hours into the show, or whenever I brought it up, 3 hours into the show, all of a sudden I saw, oh, there's something all over his hand, and then I couldn't ignore it anymore.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I didn't know you could see it through the machine.
Yeah, but you know people can see it. You do know. In other words, a lot of your energy, where it was devoted more toward the show and coming up with funny angles, is more devoted now toward getting your girlfriend's career on target.
Writing on my
Gary's
hand.
making a good point. It's something to think about.
Okay.
He don't fight it. Gary's a pretty astute guy. He's not doing it to pick on you. I really don't think Gary has a bad bone in his body. Out of all the vipers in this room, and believe me, there are many, I think Gary's the least.
Can I just say something?
Viperish.
My frustration with Benji is not over what he's doing so much, although there's a lot of it is that. But whenever you say to Benji, why are you doing this? He goes, I'm not doing that. You're crazy.
No,
And he doesn't acknowledge it. But you do know, would you acknowledge to me that you are very consumed with getting her career
mentioned or on track or getting some sort of traction for her? Do you feel that at all?
To an extent, yeah,
okay.
but not like I don't feel it's out of some desperation to get her to love me. She loves me.
I think it's your cachet. It's what you bring to the table.
No, I think it's...
She's not attracted to you physically. But
she absolutely is.
She has said on my air that she was not.
Originally, when she met me, she wasn't, and I had lost...
And I think when a woman that you're attracted to says that, you say, well, what is my cachet? What can I do to convince her? Now, I remember, once you did that, once it clicked for you that maybe you could get her, you started going on CNN mentioning her name. You started to go to press conferences and screaming out the name of her songs.
That was
yeah. Isn't it interesting? That's the shift.
No, it was
went from show focus
to... It was a funny thing to do on the press conference.
There was nothing funny on this show that you could have done, the Howard Stern show related, but more...
It was a Howard Stern thing.
It isn't a Howard Stern.
When I went to the press
thing.
conference,
it's more about Elisa's thing than the Howard Stern show.
When I went to that press conference, the Herman Cain press conference,
right?
I actually walked there with Lisa G.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't want to focus on the actual. It was his charges of sexual harassment.
Okay.
I wanted to do something kind of absurd.
And out of all the topics was your girlfriend's song.
I thought of it on the way over.
Right.
It was about we had about 15 minutes.
So what was upmost on your mind?
I was thinking, should I just start doing questions about the weather? And
you're like Hinckley, who has to impress Jodie Foster. Trust me, it comes off a little bit like that.
That wasn't the initial intent of that. Then I thought, oh, this will be funny if I just start
And lately, everything has been your girlfriend-centric. In other words, every bit has been sort of something to do with Elisa or your appearances with her. That's what Gary's talking about. And that's what Lisa G's saying. She's saying, chill out, take a pill, and be in the relationship. And you don't have to provide that all the time. And you know what? It'll take the pressure off of you.
But let's say, first of all, I disagree.
You'll enjoy your relationship more.
I disagree with the assumption that I feel I have to provide that. But let's say I did.
There's no doubt in my mind you do.
Okay. So let's say that's correct.
All right.
Why
else would every bit for the last couple of months have been about Elisa?
Why should Lisa in the newsroom,
Lisa G,
be mean to me, and especially mean to my girlfriend about that?
I can ask her that. That's a separate issue. I'm talking about you now. What's your motivation in this? And I'm telling you, you're insecure and you don't think you can hold on to that girl.
That's not true.
Yeah, because out of all the topics in the universe, you picked to go to the Herman Cain press conference and talk about your girlfriend.
But that was...
And now, speaking of your girlfriend, here's Lisa G.
Your real girlfriend.
Lisa, your real girlfriend. The girl you should be with. The woman who really loves you and who you should be with.
Thank you for hearing me. Right. I appreciate it.
No, I mean, to be no different. I mean, every guy is commenting on Benji. I don't know why as soon as you do, they say you're in love with him. But I do hear back in the newsroom that you constantly, to the point that certain reporters have to put their headphones on.
Yeah, I've been a little consumed. That's why I didn't cover it.
Right. They had to take you off the Benji story because you're consumed.
Right, like the firefighters who had to cover the 9/11 widows and they ended up falling in love with them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you might be falling in love with Benji from covering him. You know they had to police a G off the story?
Oh, my goodness.
They felt that she was getting too emotionally involved.
Happens.
Wow. Benji, that's power. See?
So you heard what I was saying. You
did make a good point.
Thank you. It's starting to feel tacky to me. And nothing against his girlfriend personally because I don't know her.
Right.
So I feel that no other spouse or girlfriend here is doing what's happening. And it feels tacky to me and disrespectful to you. And the fact that she doesn't get it. Who's telling her, oh, keep doing it, keep doing it?
I see. So that's why you're critical of Benji's girlfriend as well.
Yes.
That she should say to Benji, listen.
Is this okay?
It's just a little embarrassing. Maybe you shouldn't be putting your job in jeopardy.
Yeah, or is this all right with Howard?
Such as what,
right,
Lisa?
Right.
Everything.
Well,
T-shirts, videos.
Give me a specific thing.
Everything, the way it's feeling to me.
No, everything's not specific. So say something.
Well, she just said T-shirts and videos.
Okay, what?
She just said it. What are you not hearing? How many examples is she going to come up with?
So what's the video you're talking about?
Just everything I've seen or every mention.
Name a video you've seen.
Oh, God. Benji, I'm not going to argue with you.
How that's some bullshit. She's saying she doesn't like a video. What video is she talking about?
I guess she's referring to YouTube and the song, and then you constantly mentioning where people can hear the song or buy the song.
Howard,
I think she's calling that a video.
They post videos on YouTube of them talking about a variety of things. I've seen 2 or 3 of them.
What's wrong? Wait, Lisa, have you done videos on YouTube of you and your cat?
I would imagine that Lisa would think as a writer on the show, you might be more involved in the Howard Stern world than the Elisa world with your videos and your content.
So wait, she's upset about putting up videos on YouTube.
Yes.
Is that correct, Lisa?
That's part of it. It's everything. Or she'll say to me, did you see the Benji couture? It's a picture of her. Not
Lisa,
I can't even see
Lisa,
you on the T-shirt.
So
it just...
Well, there is a specific... Wait a second,
No,
Benji.
let me go back to the first specific.
She gave you a great specific.
Let
You
me go
asked
back
for it.
to the first specific.
No, Benji, no.
Why can I address the first one?
Benji Couture is a picture of your girlfriend.
Well, he's on it, but it's where's Benji? He's not even looking at the camera.
So
Right.
you don't like the way I'm not
and
looking
she's
at
saying why she's critical of your girlfriend. I'm just interpreting. She's saying maybe the girlfriend would have said to you, Benji, we just started going out. You're already putting a T-shirt out with me, and you're calling it Benji Couture, and you're mentioning it to Howard's fans, and you're marketing it to Howard's fans. Right. It's a little bit embarrassing. She's saying, where is she in this, too? Like, she should say, gee, I don't feel comfortable.
Who, Lisa?
No, Elisa. That's what Lisa just said about the Benji Couture.
Okay, so you don't like that I put shirts
She
out?
didn't say she didn't like it. She's just saying it's odd.
Okay, but does odd give you the right to be mean to somebody?
I had an opinion. I had an opinion.
Right.
I can understand.
No, I know you've hired a personal publicist. I know you just did that. And I know that you have and I don't have a problem with that. I think you should build your career. But the sad part in this
I just hired
a
personal publicist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you?
I don't know. For sure, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you hired a personal publicist.
From what are you basing this on?
That John Lieberman told us you hired a personal publicist. He said he spoke to him. Sounds just like High Pitch Mike.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, anyway, I'm not against that.
Right.
I'd like to see your career blossom. I've personally taken an interest in every guy who works here and seeing that their career blossom.
I know that. I'm
a very big proponent of that.
I know.
I applaud John Hines' efforts. I applaud Ronnie's. Anyone I can see. Sal, Richard, you. I'm not against that. No one's jealous.
Right.
When it comes to your relationship with your girlfriend, I question whether or not you're feeling a lot of pressure to come through for her. It seems like there's a lot of Benji, Elisa bits going down and a lot of thought going into the Benji, Elisa promotion on your part.
Okay.
And I think that a lot of times it gets confused because when you could pick an opportunity like in CNN or one of these Herman Cain press conferences, it might even be one time funny to mention your girlfriend's name. But to constantly have it on your brain seems to indicate to me psychologically that you have a lot of internal pressure to be Superman to her.
Okay.
And I know that pressure. I'm not saying I'm foreign to it. But it's a sad kind of statement. It's a sad situation for you. To me. I think to Lisa and to some other people around here.
I don't feel that pressure, but I can't convince you that I don't.
Well, it's odd that out of all the millions of topics, that's the topic that keeps coming up. You came up with a T-shirt, and it's basically a picture of your girlfriend T-shirt with you kind of there, and it's called Benji Couture, and you kind of just met her, and it's a money-making enterprise.
Okay.
And, it's... I take advice from a guy who's had a pretty successful career. That's me. I'm not in the T-shirt business.
Right.
I don't sell T-shirts, and there's a reason I don't. But I certainly I'm not going to market a T-shirt about Beth and myself and sell it to my audience. Now, I know you're in a different situation, and you're hungry to get something going. But pick and choose. Even when you go out and record a bit that's going to be on the air, pick and choose what your comedy's about. Shouldn't always be about Elisa.
Sure.
All right. It's so on your brain that it could indicate that you're falling into the abyss of like, wow, I go home today and Elisa's going to want to be in love with me because she got mentioned today on CNN or there's a lot of pressure there. It seems to me.
Right.
All right. That's it.
And even if I say this stuff, what you're assuming is incorrect, I don't feel this pressure. But even if you were correct...
I don't think you're aware of the pressure.
Okay, that's absolutely possible.
Right.
I don't think... I think you're ethically, Lisa, being wrong to be mean to me about it.
Why are you throwing it back on me? It's like you didn't even hear what Howard said.
And I don't think she's being mean.
Well, I don't... All right. Well, one, you don't.
She's critical of you and your girlfriend because she feels your girlfriend should say, you know, hey, maybe do a reality check too and say, hey, Benji, some of this doesn't feel comfortable to me. But that's irrelevant. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about your girlfriend. I don't know your girlfriend. And I think she's lovely, and as Lisa made a good point. If she's going to have a big career, it can't all hinge on you feeling this like you can't be Colonel Tom in this situation.
Okay, but I don't. I felt there was several direct things with Lisa being mean to me about it. There's been some where you're kind of. It's a different role between you and I. And
are you being mean, Lisa?
I had an opinion and I stated it, and then I apologized privately to Benji, saying I'm sorry if that hurt you. That's
Gary, is Lisa being overboard and mean?
I don't know. I mean, I heard the comment that she made. I think that she speaks for a lot of people who may not want to verbalize that, but I don't know whether it's mean. It's an opinion. It's not like I hate that fucking bitch. It's just like I think Benji's spending a lot of time.
Lisa, let's clear this up too. Do you have emotional feelings for Benji?
No, I think he's terrific. I think he's very talented.
Do you have romantic interest in Benji?
But I agree with you. I think he is an amazing comedy writer. He's 10 steps ahead of everyone. And so when he's trying to sing with Elisa, I think, why doesn't she, as his girlfriend, say, wow, you are so talented. Write a sitcom. You've got a lot of free time. Write some jokes. Exactly
well, that's
what
not
you
her
were
role.
saying.
That, you see, that's where you're overstepping.
All right, but
because that's not who she is. Or maybe she is that person. You don't know what she's doing.
But like I said to Benji, that's my issue.
Right.
That's what I said yesterday on the wrap-up
I think
show.
you were more on target when you said to Benji that she's going to make her own career, and you don't have. And you know what? Chill out and let things happen if they're going to happen. You don't have to constantly be promoting. You know. But I know you're spending a lot of time thinking about Benji. That's why they took you off the story, because I heard that on late Friday night you were texting John Lieberman about the Benji T-shirts. I mean, it's a Friday night. You're home. Yes. You're overly involved.
Well, not anymore.
Right. They took you off it.
They took me off it, and you're discussing it now. I feel so much better.
Right.
I feel like someone heard what I was trying to say, so it makes me feel good.
You were saying that the judgment was you can't be professional about this issue.
No, that's not what I said. My boss thought it would be better if John covered the story because it was a live performance.
Think?
I'm busy doing the news.
Why? Why are you not weighing in?
I could care less about Benji. I'm with the audience.
Well, listen.
Too much Benji.
You think you're disgusted. You don't want to hear about Benji and his girlfriend.
Benji is not real about anything. Benji's not in touch with anything. Why are you having a discussion?
What am I not real about, Robin?
I'm not getting into it. I'm talking to Howie.
Well, maybe Robin makes sense. Why am I involved? I did get caught up.
I don't know. You know what?
I got to think about that for a second. I'm sucked in again. Well, I got sucked in on the wrap-up show.
I started to say something in the middle of all this, and then I said, maybe it's going somewhere, and then I just started doing the news.
I see.
Robin.
All right. Well, maybe you make a good point.
Robin, what you know?
Maybe all of this
Don't call my name, Benji. I'm not
What happened to you, like, trying to be a better person and not emasculate people?
She didn't. I talked to Howard about this.
I called on
Pretend you're not here.
I'm here, and when you say something again,
pretend you're not here. Benji, why don't you pretend you're not here?
When you say
that's
something,
not
Very
emasculating.
helpful.
I don't think you emasculated.
What am I not
him.
real about, Robin?
Well, listen. Robin maybe just made the best point of all. Again, I got caught up
I
in
agree.
this.
I don't completely fit in here, but you guys make me a scapegoat, and you pigeonhole me in a certain way that...
No, I was actually interested in helping you today. I thought Lisa made some good points on the wrap-up show, so I brought it up to Robin, and then I brought it up to you. And I thought that Gary made some good points. I hadn't really been thinking that much about you, and then when I heard the wrap-up show, I became intrigued in this. So, but Robin just made me think of something even the bigger picture. Who the fuck cares about any of it? So she could be right on, and I could be completely off on this. But meanwhile... I'm weighing in with my 2 cents. I could be completely wrong.
Here's my point. Benji doesn't take advice.
Right. Why am I wasting my breath is what you're saying. It's true. You know what? You're right. God bless you.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, goodbye, Lisa.
I've got things to do, big stories to cover.
All right, let's talk about Fred. Now, there's a topic everyone loves.
You go.
Good. You gave me a reality check. Okay. All right, good for you. Score 1 for Robin. It's true. Here it is, 31 minutes into the show.
And it's wasted air.
No, Robin, the deal is you don't like me. And so you get angry.
He's trying. He's
getting to you.
Trying.
You're going to get sucked in.
I'm not going.
No, you talk to him now, and then I'll yell at you that you're wasting the audience's time.
I'm cured.
Do you like Benji? I just want to know.
I love Benji.
You do?
I love
it. All right, good. All right. Well, there's your answer. You can't talk to her, but I can. What else do you want to know from Robin?
I can't wait till how I'm treated when you really love me.
No, we all like you.
Things reached a boiling point today between you and Lisa.
Yeah.
I mean, the gloves came off, and not that it got nasty, but it got very real and very honest. And can this relationship be repaired? Or are you just so pissed off at her that it's almost like she's trying to cockblock you?
All right, guys, remember no cell phones.
Yeah, I think I have an open. I don't like some things Lisa has said and done, but doesn't mean I have a permanent dislike of her. I like her, and we'll see what happens.
She made the prediction to me earlier that you and Elisa will be broken up by May at the latest.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I think it's very easy to predict couples will break up because most couples do break up. Very few stay together. So I don't feel that we will, and I hope that we're not. But if we are, it'll be because, that's how things evolve.
Do you think she sort of threw you under the bus in Howard's eyes, and that she brought to light some things about, you and the Stern Show and publicity, and sort of painted you in a very negative light earlier?
Do I think she threw me under the bus?
Yeah, like she from my standpoint, I think she has some feelings for you, or at least a very strong liking of you, and that's why she's so put off by this relationship. But she spun it as like a Howard. It was an insult to Howard.
Oh, I see. So was she like?
Yeah, she threw your job under the bus.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. I think she has personal feelings, and she's trying to rationalize it. I think So I don't know if I would say throw under the bus, but she's trying to rationalize some personal feelings and find reasons that are not legitimate to castigate me.
So you wanted to lose all this weight and change your look, but it's not easy being a sex symbol around here. The women, it's driving them nuts.
We're the guys. Yeah, some of the guys too. So.
Yeah, including me. All right, Mr. Bronk.
Thanks.
Lisa, today everything sort of came to a head. This has been building up for months and months and months. You mentioned at the end of the interview, now I feel better.
I do, because Howard heard what I was saying, what Gary was saying, and that makes me feel that I wasn't just talking into thin air, that it made some sense. But the issue is Benji's not hearing it, and I think it's making him angrier. So I bet you he's angrier at me now.
Is this the closest you've ever come to an interview subject in your career?
Probably. But, we work so closely here, but I think it was a good thing I didn't go and see them play. I would have liked to, just to hear what the music was, but I just don't understand why he feels he has to sing with her. It just feels so phony to me.
But is he really hurting anyone at the end of the day? Is he really damaging Howard's reputation or anything?
No, he's not, but it just feels so tacky to me and disrespectful to Howard. There's a line that you shouldn't cross, and it bothers me that she hasn't said, like, ooh, maybe this is a little too much, or what does Howard think? Ooh, I'm doing T-shirts now with it's my picture. It just doesn't feel good to me. And so I'm glad I said what I needed to say.
Do you think Benji will ever forgive you for your hardline stance on his relationship?
Yes, when she breaks up with him.
You'll be there with open arms?
No. No, I won't.
A shoulder to cry on?
No, he can't have my shoulder. He'll have my support in whatever he decides to do, but maybe he'll see it when she dumps him. And look, these words might come back and bite me if they get married, but...
I was going to say, do you think she will, if you were a betting woman, would you say that Benji and Elisa, Benji will be dumped by Elisa eventually?
Yes. May.
You're predicting by May?
Yes.
All right, you heard it here first.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate. On Monday's wrap-up show, we were talking about who's the bigger superfan, Marianne from Brooklyn or Bobo. And then Bobo called in, and we talked about how crazy he is about the show. And then we gave him sort of a Sophie's choice. If he had to give a kidney to Howard or his wife, who would he give it to? You'll be shocked at the answer.
We should talk about this Bobo, Marianne from Brooklyn. I think that's a good battle when you really think about it. Who's the more passionate fan, Gary?
Bobo's probably a tiny, they're pretty close. Bobo might be a little bit more passionate, if you will. Passionate's one word, crazy's another. But, you know, for Marianne's a woman, and they're both leaving, like so I said to myself, okay, they're both leaving their family. But when a woman leaves her family behind, like to get up, you know, to before the kids even wake up, and so somebody else has to get the kids off to school, I think she's probably making a little bit more of a sacrifice.
I kind of looked at it the same way, but in a more extreme way. And I do think, when I think of what love means, I think Marianne loves him more. But when I think of who is I think Howard could say to Bobo, I want you to give up your life, you know, move in with me and be my slave. And I think there's a good chance Bobo would do it. I don't think Marianne would do it. I don't think Marianne would give up her family.
Benji's got something there.
Yeah.
Marianne loves Howard, but she does love her family too. Bobo loves his family, but he might love Howard a little more.
Okay, so if Howard asked Marianne to live in his apartment for a month, you don't think Marianne would do it?
For a month?
I think for a month, yeah. I think she'd do it for a month.
But I think Bobo would do it for a lifetime. Yeah.
Bobo, is that true?
Hey, how you doing there, guys? Absolutely. I mean, if you speak to John Lieberman, he was at my house for 3 hours, and he interviewed my wife briefly because she doesn't really like camera stuff. And she says, actually, Howard comes first in our lives, and we're second. But, no, I put...
Bubba, what's a discussion with your wife? Like, if you say to your wife... But see, it's weird because, like, you don't go to, like, Letterman. You don't hang outside Letterman. You don't hang around a lot. You have you're sort of into the show in a different way. You don't attend a lot of stuff, do you?
Well, you know what it is. I'm out here on the island, and it's cost of expensive too to get there. And I'm way out here. It's not like I'm in the city,
but
nearby.
Marianne's not in the city.
Well, she's in Brooklyn. It's part of the city.
Yeah, but it's not easy for her to get here, and she's got kids.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's easy.
And she's got kids she's got to get off to school or pick up from school, and she's not doing that to do this.
But I would imagine it's easier for Bobo at home because he could still have a relationship with his family, yet follow the show as crazily as he does.
Right, but like her kids are grown, and I got a 5-year-old. It's a little bit different. But we're both crazy. I think it's a photo finish. It's almost like a horse race. You know what I mean? You don't know. It's right there, neck and neck. You got to give up props, too.
What's the worst argument or disagreement that you had with your wife over something having to do with the show?
I think it's the amount of time that I spend. You know what I mean? Like, I have to learn to, like, we're out to dinner or something. She says, you're always working. I love Howard, but you're always working to dinner about the show. Could this be about us? I go, you know what? You're right. And then I got to catch myself.
Was there?
It's just shutting that switch off.
Was there ever a specific incident or event that happened where you chose the show over something at home?
Yeah, going to the Superman round table, which I'm doing Wednesday. We had something planned. I go, listen, hon, I got to do this. She knows how passionate I am.
Well, like here's a perfect example. Like Valentine's Day is coming up. So if you guys had made great plans for Valentine's Day, but then you found out that Howard's doing, something for America's Got Talent on TV on Valentine's Day, and you don't want a TiVo, you want to watch it. Is it one of those things that you would fight about, or do you just assume your wife is going to understand that that's what it's got to be?
Well, on a day like that, no, it's got to be dedicated to her, because she is passionate. Been patient with me with everything I do, But there have been times where I got caught up and I did, that did take precedence over what we were doing.
The classic Sophie's choice question, like they both need your kidney to survive, and one's gonna die, one's gonna live. Who do you give it to, Howard or your wife?
Oh my God, you asked me that question. I have to go to my wife because, she's the mother of my kid, but, I love Howard so much, man. I don't know.
Howard would be gone, Bobo. I mean, if you made that choice.
And if you make him survive, he'll know the rest of your life you're the one who did it.
Yeah, I can't make him die. No.
Would you give one to each and just let yourself die?
Wait, you can't.
Yeah,
I'd
probably do that.
You can't make him die, so you'd let your
No,
wife
I
die?
can't. I can't let either of them die. I think I just check out.
No, what do you? So seriously, you got to do one or the other.
You got to pick one.
Got to pick one. Oh my God. I know my wife's going to kill me, but I got to go with Stern. No, I can't. I can't because she's the mother of my kid. You know what I mean? I'm not that far off. That's if I didn't have my kid, it's different.
Yes, John Lee.
Even though I love my wife, but still.
Well, you guys will get a kick out of this. I spent a lot of time with Bobo. Bobo's therapist told him that he needs to do something to back off the show a little bit. So Bobo suggested maybe he won't listen to the wrap-up show live. Maybe he'll just listen to it on replay.
Hey, Bobo, what's up with that?
That was what the concession he would make to his therapist. But I interviewed his wife as well. It's a very telling interview. She says she understands that she knows she will always be second. She will never be Howard Stern in his life.
Yeah, Gary, I guess that's the bargain you make if you're going to marry Bobo.
Well, that's true, too. When you guys got married, because I remember meeting your wife when you guys were dating, so she knew very well what she got into, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't introduce until I was in Huntington at a restaurant there, and I said, oh, by the way, I'm, do stuff for the show. And, I gracefully worked it in that way. So she knew who I was.
If we talked about this, stop me. Was there a Mrs. Bobo before the current Mrs. Bobo?
No.
Oh, so this is your first wife?
Well, no, this is my second wife, but my first wife did not. I was Bobo, but she hated the show. She hated Stern.
Oh, I see. So she just didn't go by the name Mrs. Bobo.
No. And Dawn's proud. She's proud to say that because she loves Howard.
But did the show have any effect on the ending of your first marriage?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What happened?
Absolutely. I had now it wasn't a shrine like I have now, but I had stuff on the walls and stuff like that, and she used to get crazy at times, and enough with Howard Stern, we go here, we go there, it's always about Howard Stern, and she tore my stuff down. I go, that's crazy, you don't do that to me. I worked my damn ass off, and I said, this is my enjoyment. I said, I'm out of here. And that wasn't the deciding factor. But you know what? I gotta find someone who likes the same interest I have.
Wait, Bobo, you walked out on her, or she walked out on you?
I walked out. I said I'm done, and she wanted me back, but I said I'm done. I'm out of here.
Did you pack up the shrine as you walked out?
Well, I didn't have like a per se shrine. I had everything in boxes and tapes, but now it's full. John could tell you everything's displayed.
The shrine is bigger than most New York City apartments.
Is that right?
Just the shrine. Oh yeah,
it's huge.
And
my wife was very good about that, taking a part of our home. And I didn't even notice. She's surprised. She goes, we had workers come in and do the work, and she goes, I go, what's this gonna be for Nick? And she goes, no, that's for you. I go, you kidding me? She goes, no, I know how much you love the show.
Bubba, what's the one thing the one item that you own that is in your mind the greatest item, artifact, or piece of memorabilia from our show?
Probably the Leroy Neiman, replica, which is signed and framed. I like that, and that's probably a dead heat with the Crucified by the FCC box set. That means a lot to me, too.
And that's signed also?
Yeah, I think so.
You're trying to acquire Casey's foot. Hey, Bobo, why does your therapist think you need to back off of the show?
Well, because, my wife told him things like, he's too crazy, maybe you can get him to calm down with it and, have time. So what I did is, like, after you guys are off, I put on the dad hat, and then I do what I got to do, you know what I mean? And I become,
And do me a favor, if anything, you should listen to Black on Black on delay. Stick with the wrap-up show live.
Yeah, keep us live, Bobo.
Or
no, I will.
Or Riley or something like that. Or Jackie. Listen to Jackie on delay.
All right, thanks for calling in. John, can you give us a quick description of the shrine?
Oh, I mean, it's almost hard to describe in words. I mean, everything that Howard's ever done, said. Bobo has notes dating back 25 years, his own personal handwritten notes that are dated with the questions that he wants to ask when he calls in. piles and piles of notes, cassette tapes dating back 25 years. He's recorded every call that he's ever made to the show. He's recorded in some way, shape, or form. He went and got a new memory card for his cell phone, a $200 memory card, because all of his calls are programmed in as ringtones on his phone, and the phone couldn't handle all of the calls, so he got an extra card. I mean,
what do you mean all of his calls are programmed as ringtones?
He has all of his calls that he ever made, the recordings of them, rotate as his incoming ringtones. So it might be a Bobo call from 10 years ago. The phone rings, it's that. Then the next call comes in, it's a Bobo call from 5 years ago. I mean, it is so eye-opening. The big difference, I think, about he and Marianne is addicted to the channels as a whole, anything surrounding Howard 100 or Howard 101 or any of that. Bobo is more focused on just Howard. And in other words, Marianne listens to all the shows on the channels.
So doesn't that in some way make her the bigger fan?
It's an interesting question. I think there's debate on both sides.
Well, who do you, if you had a vote, who would you pick?
It's hard because I think Bobo is more addicted. I mean, the guy got, it was like he was cutting out alcohol when he just quit this job. I mean, he got...
So you think Bobo loves the show more?
I think
Bobo
Bobo is
Marianne
more
does.
physically addicted, but I think Marianne is more attached. It's hard.
I think of it same like I think Bobo. It's more, and this is gonna sound negative, like a pathology. Whereas Marianne is choosing to love the show.
Bobo quit a job, a good-paying gig,
because he couldn't listen to the show.
Because he wouldn't get to the show until 9 o'clock, and he told his boss, "This messes with my routines. I just can't do this."
That's a super fan, Gary.
Well, with Benji's thinking, if Marianne's choosing to love the show, and if with Bobo it's a pathology, then clearly Bobo is the bigger fan. If you're going to buy into that.
One other thing that was interesting to me was Bobo actually has a work history and an employment history and all these commendations. He was with the Postal Service for 37 years. And the only time...
That explains everything.
He was with the Postal Service. He retired from there. He has a binder, like, hugely thick with all of his Employee of the Month awards, this and that. The only time he ever got in trouble at work was for listening to Howard. His supervisors would write him up because he would be caught in a truck when he was supposed to be working listening to Howard.
But it is like the signs of alcoholism. Like, has this ever interfered with your job? You know,
I just love, like, some guys are at work and they're doing blow in the postal. Some of them are getting blowjobs, and he's just listening to Howard.
On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we had the graffiti artist David Choe, who became the multimillionaire from his the Facebook IPO, and we talked about his appearance on the show. And John Hein and I got in a big argument about the doubling gambling method, which I was shocked that John thinks that works in casinos. And it mathematically works if you have an unlimited amount of money, but it chances are, very much so, that you'll go broke if you do it in a casino. And the fact that John didn't understand that, I was shocked and pleased by it, because I like feeling a little smarter than John about this.
Our featured guest was artist David Choe, and
we should talk a little bit about how he got here in the first place.
Okay.
So it started out where somebody sent an email to Howard's assistant, Laura, who forwarded it to me, but I had seen the article on the cover of the New York Times that morning, so I sort of knew the story already. Pitched it to Howard, and Howard's like, this sounds like a pretty cool story. Let's look into it. So I thought it was going to be more like a phone call. I didn't realize how big the story was. David found out that there was interest. We find out that the whole world wants him. Everybody wants him. And all he wants to do is Howard. You know, it's like at Splash. Anybody here from Penthouse? And so he wants to do Howard. And so people like ABC, I think, flew him in. And then there was a whole thing going on over the weekend where the ABC people were trying to get us to pick up the tab for some of it. I'm like, hey, he wants to do our show. He said he'd fly himself in for us.
he was thrilled to be on the show today.
So we decided to have him in live. And then only after we decided to have him in live did Will do a little research on him and said, holy shit, this guy's going to be a great guest. We wanted him on solely for the Facebook story. We thought that would be enough. Then, Will says, he's in jail. He's punching himself in the face, drawing with blood. And then we found out it'd be awesome.
Oh, he's in jail in Japan.
Right.
And the whole gambling thing fascinated me. And Will, you should come down and talk about this because I know you were also fascinated by it. And then he came in with that painting. He did the artwork on
that painting
the
was
wall.
amazing, by the way. The one he did for Howard,
Yeah.
I loved it.
and he did the artwork on the wall in the green room, and he was a really interesting guy. But I was watching Howard sort of relate to where he was coming from, and Howard would talk a little bit about his philosophy in life, and Dave's like, yeah, but why not live it up? You've got this, you've got that, enjoy it. And he's like, well, one day you may not feel this way.
Right. I was surprised because I think a lot of people liked him, and I spoke to my wife right before we came to wrap up, and I wondered what she would think of him because he was talking about banging broads and doing this and everything. She goes, God, that guest was so good. But the thing about him that Howard loves, the greatest thing you can bring to the show is to be completely unfiltered, and I think that totally describes him. He sat down. Howard wanted to talk about Facebook. He goes, before we talk about Facebook, let me talk about how I learned how to jerk off in a Japanese prison.
Right. He came prepared. There's no doubt about that. But the question I put to you guys is, do you take the $60,000 or do you take the shares in Facebook? And keep in mind, guys, nobody knew what Facebook was at this point.
Most people are going to take the money. He doesn't seem to care about anything. Even like Will and I were talking about how he's going to go do ABC, and he says, well, I want Barbara Walters to interview me, and I want her to do graffiti with me. And Will just said, which I got at the interview, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't give a fuck. Like if ABC said to him, no, he'd go, fine, I don't want to do it. So when you don't care, I think you can get a lot of stuff done.
Do you respect that kind of attitude, JD?
Yes. Yeah, I would love to be able to say, fuck you, I get what I want, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I like that.
And did you know he was a big fan of yours?
He's a big fan of the show. I don't know if he's a big
But he liked you because, he likes you. He doesn't like Eric the Midget, so he's got his likes and dislikes.
Yeah, well, he's a good man. I respect his opinion in that sense. Yeah, he's his mind must go a million miles a minute. That's what I was thinking.
I liked him on the show, but I could tell that Howard wanted to let him be him, but it was hard to keep him on the tracks because he could go off in a lot of directions. That's why Howard's such a great interviewer. Give him a little room, but bring him back.
And he had some paint on his hands. I wonder if he was like out painting before he came on the show.
He might be. The guy.
Well, he said he did. I don't know, like if sometime in the last day or two, he did that Beetlejuice thing on somewhere down in Chinatown. Like he did a graffiti. Actually, he said his landlord asked him to like graffiti a wall.
Now, what about the struggle he has? Most people, you're on the front page of the New York Times. You're like, wow, great. He's like, no, I don't want people really knowing about this part of my life because before this moment, he was living a pretty good life, completely under the radar.
More money, more problems. Sorry. I'm sorry. Give me that look all you want, John. I thought that was funny.
You going to go to Vegas and hang out with David?
I don't know.
I'll teach you how to turn $500 into $1 million.
Yeah, I doubt Howard will be flying me to Vegas with him, but
I was really curious. I don't know how much he thought out the decision of like 60,000 versus the shares.
I don't think he thought it out much at all.
But I wonder if he really took it like thinking, hey, this is gonna become this big thing. I'm gonna make so much more of it. Or
he kept saying over and over he believed in Sean Parker. He believed eventually Sean Parker was gonna.
But I wonder if that was his reason for keeping the shares and not taking the money.
That's what he said. He said he could have really used $60,000 at that time, but that he thought Sean Parker was cool enough and interesting enough and smart enough that he was banking on him. But that's a lot of faith.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially, it's a lot of faith in light of the fact that Sean Parker had already been with two companies before that.
And didn't pay.
And they couldn't